we return once again. We will have some people actually showing up later. But we have Lord Fricktastic himself, Crumpler64, Jesse, and Michael, aka Kyle. So, quick recap, because it's been a month since we played this session. Uh, Last game, you got into a little bit of a road warrior fight, but you came out on the upper side of that, and you have a new war machine that you've been driving around. You brought the old one back to Mad Maggie just to, gift what was left of it back to her, which she said is mostly just going to be scrap parts for the magpies to play with. But hey, you didn't pay for it, so it was a nice trade up. Uh, you did a whole lot of different things for different people, including a dragonborn with a weird skeletal hand named Archon the Cruel. But you came out on the good side of all your dealings, and you now have an actual, like, written in stone letter of reference for Bell, the Pit Fiend, second in command of all of Avernus, former ruler of all of Inverness. Now, let's just take a quick look at the weather out here in Sigil.
So working 6 months in TV news, like, let's look at the weather, and I expected transition. The point. Well, as we look on the Wasatch Front, there's gonna.
Yes. Well, you see here, we got some acid rain that's moving in from the south, or is it the north? You know what? Direction doesn't really matter to us anymore.
I didn't
So,
realize we were in the 1990s. Wow, this really is a hellhole.
acid rain. You had to very quickly find shelter from the acid rain because, well, it's acid rain. It's in the name.
Yeah.
So you found some shelter. So most people are in the pocket dimension right now, and will pop out as they show up to the game. But you two are in the cave, but you're not alone. There is apparently, I can't say a living inhabitant, because there is a ghost in the cave who looks at you with a weary sigh. Oh, well, at least this beats the boredom. Hello, my name is Horatio Montague Livingston III.
Hello. This is Lord Fricktastic the First of what city was it renamed to? Weldon?
That was the original name.
Yeah, Weldon was.
Yeah. I have never heard of that place.
And I am Michael Bradmore.
I think I'm just going more insane, but at least one of you is somewhat normal. And he just sort of, acts like he's about to go around and do things, but then he's like, seems to remember he has nothing to do because this cave is empty. So he just kind of looks back over at you. So, I suppose I should ask you how you're doing?
Would you like us to just take you out of here?
No, I have no intention of going back out there. Not that it matters. I'll wake up eventually.
Shall we tell him?
I think you'll be able to say it a lot better than I can.
My good man, do you really think this is a dream? Am I assuming correctly?
Well, yes, not that I expect you to understand it because you're just a part of the dream and therefore this is your reality. I understand that, but this isn't real. I'm sorry to break that to you. You are just a figment of my fevered brain.
Michael, I think I'm just gonna let him continue thinking it's a dream. I think it's best.
No, no, it's not. To a certain,
Why not?
if the ignorance didn't prove danger to his immortal soul, then yeah, I'd say it was for the best. But this kind of is something that you need to tell him.
He kind of
I don't
looks
know if you
up like,
believe me.
I
I mean, look at me.
understand already. I will be a better person. There's no need to keep hammering this home.
You're already kind of past the point of waking up and being the better person. Unless you're astral projecting, you're not going to be going back.
Well, I'm not going anywhere because this isn't real. It just, look, I am in a hospital somewhere with a fever. Obviously, it's taken a turn for the worse. And I'm sure I will wake up. And I swear I will be a better person. Just have. I'm talking to a bear right now, for God's sakes. This can't be real. This is just a fever dream that happens to take the classic representation of the Nine Hills, and none of it is real. And it's just the part of me that recognizes that I need to be a better person, and I will be just as soon as I wake up. Until then, well, I would offer you some tea because or you can just leave, but I don't have any tea. And it does get kind of boring in here. So, yes, I'm even willing to talk to a version of myself. And the part of myself that is brain damaged, I suppose.
Looking back and forth between the ghost and Frick, and then kind of motioning to himself. Is that a comment about me? Okay, the silence is answer enough.
And it is where
Yeah.
it's like right now, like with Frick is to this moment, it's like the conflict. If I should help this man, but also, is he beyond help? Because also considering where they is just where it's like he doesn't know like if he's able to break the truth through, what will be the next reaction, and can they handle that level?
What is the last thing that you remember?
I was at home and I probably had some bad pork or something. Food poisoning would certainly explain it. And then there was darkness. I was falling. There were other people falling with me, but they were falling faster. And then there was a breeze, and I didn't fall into the water like they did. Then I started walking around what is Dante probably would have considered to be the first layer of hell. And because I must have, I mean, obviously I've read it at some point because I'm referencing it now. So I found many obviously some of my own personal demons, so to speak, but here they're manifested and they are so rather than put up with them, I came here. That was a little while ago. I don't really have a way of measuring time because time inside of a dream doesn't really matter anyway. So, from my relative perspective, I've had days or weeks to sit and contemplate my life. But you are at least not trying to stab me with things, so you're better company than the walls.
Okay, out of character. The Dante that he's referencing, is that Dante Alighieri?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god. Michael just kind of looks at him and goes, "Who's Dante?"
I
No,
he
no,
was
no.
he was a
You need
poet.
to. Okay.
He wrote the Divine Comedy. You are not made up of my smartest bits, I see.
Can I just have a roll real fast on?
Sure. What do you want to roll?
Well, because I am a bard, I want to do either a history or a performance check
If you're trying
on
to
that.
see if you know who Dante is, that would be history.
Okay.
You've never heard of a poet named Dante before. Well, you can at least be entertaining. And where are you from? Where do you think you're from?
I'm from the continent of Faerun, from the kingdom of Wildom. Lord Frictastic is one of the lords of Wildom, or at least Wildom as it was originally known. It is now known by some other name that escapes me because I had only been there for about 2 months after the name was changed. I think there was a coup, a death of a king, and several things that I initiated that kind of caused an entire amount of issues that I can't really go into right now. Where are you from?
He kind of just has a uninterested stare. He's like, "Well, I actually hail from Sydney, from the continent of Australia."
What would I roll to see if Frick would know anything about this?
Let's call that history also.
Perfect. This can only go poorly. Wait, he has proficiency in that, surprisingly.
Yeah, that'll slightly mitigate things.
Not that it helped.
No, you can think whatever you want to about this place.
It's just that moment Frick is like, yes, indeed, Sydney. Meanwhile, inside his head,
Yeah.
Is this guy dressed in sort of contemporary clothing to the era that we're from? Or is it
Because he's a ghost, it's really hard. His clothes are about as pale and ethereal as he is, so there's not really the ability to make a comparison.
I see.
is there a way for me to kind of focus on his clothing then?
No, I mean, as in he is literally a pale ghost. There's not much context to him. He's
He's that ethereal that he's just like kind
yeah.
of
You know he's there, but he could be Casper for all you know.
Aw, he's so friendly, but his uncles are going to be such monsters. Um, I what year do you remember it being?
Would it even matter, because you are clearly from some Tolkien-esque world, and therefore my calendar and your calendar probably don't even match up. For example, my world doesn't have talking bears. Although there are plenty of people who believe in Bigfoot, but then again, there are also people who believe in the afterlife. So,
You are in one of the sections of the afterlife. Like physically, though I don't know.
he puts his hand through your head. There's nothing physical here.
That's because there's nothing physical to you because you're dead.
Just freaking just watching the hand just going back and forth.
Could you stop that? It's really creepy.
It's like, okay, you're going to be one of those.
Sorry, I want to sing it for the part where you were an actual Michael.
Like,
Right.
okay, you're just gonna be one of those figments. They like again,
What
he's
sort of-
getting ready to turn back, but then it's like, oh yeah, there's still nothing here. I wish I could at least have dreamt up a chessboard or something.
Okay. What sort of evidence would I have to give you in order for your mind to accept this?
Well, there's nothing to accept. I mean, you're a dream, and therefore you believe in your reality, which, again, from a certain perspective, your reality is real to you. But I am a rationalist, and I do not believe in such things as souls or afterlife or anything that I can't touch.
Okay, then let's look at it from a rationalist perspective. If you believe that this is a dream and that part of the dream is in delivering the message that you need to be a much nicer person, what do you need to, as evidence in order for you yourself through your subconscious to accept the fact that you have seen this message, accepted it, and moved on?
Well, there's nothing for me to accept. I'm just waiting for the fever to go down and to wake up again. This is probably all taking place in the span of a long nap. You know how dreams have that whole weird condensed time frame?
Yes, where moments as you're dying seem to stretch out for eternity, and then you're revisiting every single mistake that you've made throughout your entire existence, and you're questioning about how what impact you've had throughout it. And then you're slowly realizing that yourself is an asshole, but you just can't stop the path that you're on because it's just so much fun. At the same time, you tend to do quite a lot of good.
You see, you're just another part of me. And luckily for me, you're not the part of me that is trying to dunk me into the water and attempt to drown me, which again doesn't really make a lot of sense, but nothing makes sense when you're in dreams. So
What would you need to see in order for you to accept that this is a reality then?
nothing. Because anything that you show me is just another part of the dream, and therefore it appears to be real to my delusion mind.
Okay, Michael's going to pull out the pocket dimension
Okay?
and he's going to point at it and he's going to say, all right, this is how you're going to wake up.
Make a persuasion roll. And he's like, fine, I will humor you. And he puts his hand through the orb. Oh, the light. I can see it all so clearly. Thank you. Whoever you said you were, I can see it all so clearly now.
The rain is gone. Oh, great. I forgot that it doesn't work on incorporeal beings. Okay. Other idea. What symbolism here would be able to show you the difference between fever dream and death in actuality?
Mm. Again, nothing in here because everything in here looks and feels real. But my rational mind will always know it is not real.
If it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, and it swims like a duck,
It is a duck.
it is, yes, it is most definitely not a mimic trying to eat you.
Oh,
If it feels real, looks real, and acts in the exact same positioning and metaphysics as hell, it's hell.
Oh, I will agree. It is hell. It has been going on for way too long. I would like it to stop, but again, it's not a lucid dream. I can't control what's happening here.
If it wasn't a lucid dream, why would you be experiencing subconscious parts of yourself that would be talking to you?
Because that I
Why
don't
would you be
you can't
cognizant
really
of it?
look. apparent in your perceived reality, have you ever been having a dream and then you suddenly realize it's a dream, but that doesn't change the course of the dream?
No, but then I can fly in my dream without having to cast a spell.
Well, he kind of looks down at the fact that he's hovering.
You're about 3 shades of blue that are so light I can see through you.
This has been very entertaining, but no, it hasn't. I'm sure that you have some great ring to throw into lava or something of that sort.
That was last Thursday. This is unfortunately today. And you are not in a very good position. Not only psychologically, but on any plane of existence, you are not in a good position.
Well, if I could get to another level, that would be fantastic. But if I go out there, there are things that are. There's just a nightmare out there. This is boring, but at least it's stable, and I will wait out the dream in here. Thank you. Good day.
Dimension
I
Door.
said good day.
I was talking out of character. Dimension Door, unfortunately, does not move him through dimensions.
I still stand by what I said. Because you are obviously holding out for a reason. I will take an insight check from you, though. It's you can tell that from wherever he is from is nothing like what you know to be real, and therefore you're trying to. People can spend a lot of effort trying to convince a ghost things aren't real, but he's stuck in his belief, and it doesn't seem like there's again trying to convince a person that they're not crazy.
And I don't know anybody that this guy would have known to be able to send a message to him. But would greater restoration work?
Oh, it's hard to tell. I mean, again, it's not like he's showing signs that he's suffering from any kind of a madness. It's just you're trying to tell a ghost that he's dead. You know,
Yeah. This is a round robin circular argument.
Yep.
Frick! Lord
Yep.
Frick. Do you think you might be better able to discuss the philosophical quandaries with this wandering spirit? Because I think he's going to be wandering here until either oblivion comes or somebody takes him, turns him into a coin, and then makes him into either a very, very fine saucer or uses them to run their war machine.
I wish to help this poor soul, I do. I really do. But as to this level of one the examples I have witnessed, I think we will bring ourselves to a level of madness through our own attempts, since he seems has hardened his heart and mind to anything that we have brought, and even knew of the ways of the golden tongue. But needless to say, not me. It's up to you if you wish to go any further. Take this as a warning.
Michael mutters under his breath while pulling out his lute and strumming slightly and casts Detect Magic and focuses on the ghost. Is there any sort of magical charm on this gray guy?
No, no more so than any soul.
Go with whatever god that you agree with. I can't help you, unfortunately.
I suppose I should at least thank you for the slight diversion in the monotony and not trying to dunk me underwater.
Yeah, I'd stay away from the river Styx at all costs. It strips away all personality. It's pretty much how they take souls and turn them into demons and devils and cannon fodder and soul coins and just brainless foot soldiers.
I hope I remember some of this. It might at least make an interesting story I could write.
Well, it all depends what dreams may come, you know? Okay, nobody got that reference.
Oh, I
And
did. It's just that he doesn't get it.
okay. Michael just wanders into the war machine that they came from and goes back to sit in the cockpit.
And it's about this time that you see that the rain is lightening up. And you can, of course, stay here because, or you can attempt to talk to him some more because even though he doesn't like to go outside, he has been outside.
So what have you run into out here?
Oh, just the various commonplace conception of devils. Nothing that interesting, I suppose. Well, except for the fact that they are all large and carry weapons and try to stab people. Or not people.
You want to help in trying to release an angel from its bindings here?
I have no intentions of indulging this delusion beyond the occasional, he kind of gestures to you, reprieve from the solitude.
Well, if it's all a dream anyways, why not?
Because there is no point in indulging such insanities. I do not wish to retain any of this beyond the potential entertainment value of it all.
Oh, you said before you hope that you at least remember some of it to make a good book. Why not indulge a bit further, include a plot line?
I think not. I will just wait until I can return back to my life.
May Mask look over you, good soul. And he just looks to Frick. So, feel like planting a tree?
It's quite random of you. Why do you ask?
Oh, I've got a couple things that I need to do while we're here before we actually, release an angel, release a city from its chains. You know, normal stuff for me that kind of pretty much makes everybody question my sanity.
Well, considering your past methods, this is probably the most sane that I ever heard. May I ask what kind of tree?
A giant snake tree.
As in a tree that grows snakes, or a snake that is a tree?
A tree that grows snakes, but is snake like in and of itself. It's kind of hard to explain in a matter that I can actually understand myself.
Okay, where we need to go?
Um, that's something I kind of forgot where I need to do, where the final point is for me to plant this.
You have two more trees to plant. One was along the river Styx, preferably closer to um, the
Not,
limbo, the middle ground. Uh, but you suppose that even the edge of Avernus might fall within that. The other one was closer to the second layer of hell. So
well,
basically, you need to go to the two borders.
I did actually get one that was all the way up near the
You did not mention planting it. You were just talking to Archon.
I did have to. I did mention planting it, but okay.
Okay,
go
well,
all
in
the
that
way
case,
back.
I'll give it to you. You were doing a lot of things, so if I missed it, my bad.
No, that's fine. We'll review it in the post, and we'll double
No,
check.
we'll go ahead and
Make
say
sure.
you've done it because, like I said, there was I was trying to, deal with a whole army of potential devil dragon things. So you just need one, and you think that somewhere along near the river Styx, as close to the other border as possible. I forget what the actual limbo area is called, but you know what I'm talking about. The neutral grounds going into Avernus.
Yeah. So let's head all the way out there.
All right. So you get into your your devil war machine. I forget what this one is called. They all have interesting names, but I remember it had a couple of harpoon guns and a big
Wrecking ball.
yes, a wrecking ball. So you head off. Who's
Okay.
driving?
Before I answer that, do we have to load a soul coin every time to initiate this vehicle, or do we?
Is it'll
Or
run?
there's just a time?
It'll run for, I think it's 24 hours per charge.
Okay.
So based on what you suspect, this one might run another day before you need to recharge it.
Okay.
How many soul coins do you all have left?
Currently, I have 5 left.
Okay.
Because I loaded the first one to initiate this vehicle.
Yes, and then you sold Frictastic at the Wandering Emporium, and
yeah, so we were given 1, and then I got 5 from selling, so I just
Yeah.
loaded the 1 we got from the hag from there.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like maybe that's all you have left.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I do remember they were trying not to spend your personal cash when they were making some of the recent deals. But okay, whoever's driving, give me a survival check. Let's see how navigation is going.
Shall I drive?
Yeah, go for it. Unless you lack confidence. Never mind.
I have just been consistent today. It's just like, bam, bam. This is the
Fortunately,
point where it all fails.
finding the river is usually not a problem. So let's just see how long it will take you. You're driving for a good solid 3 hours, and you're going to see a lot of the usual. The devils are traveling in their formations of legions. You occasionally see some battles going on.
Yes.
Devils tend to mostly ignore you as you don't seem to be an actual threat at the moment. And
we're not going towards them or
yeah, they are sticking to whatever it is they're supposed to be doing, and the demons who you might come across either can't really catch you or just get run down by your giant wheels that grind them up.
Yeah. We take special maneuvers if anything.
Yeah. So
And considering how high that number was, I imagine that's what Michael is already doing.
yeah, you actually, you don't have too much of a problem. So let's just go with perception rolls as you're getting near the river and heading, towards your location.
Alrighty.
Frick is probably having a lot of fun, playing around with the harpoon gun right now.
Stay still.
Michael,
I imagine we're not on the best terrain.
yeah, there is no good terrain. And
making
Michael's
it.
probably aiming for things once in a while.
Especially if it looks like as if it's going to be something that's going to cause issues to
Yeah.
the actual fiends that are here. I will actually just turn a little bit to strike it. So it's like I'll make a distinction between that's a fiend that's a fiend type that's supposed to be in this level of existence. That can stay. That one is just ugly and does not look like it does not seem like as if it's supposed to be here at all. You're getting run over.
Let's do an investigation to see if you can tell the difference between what belongs and what doesn't. That thing has 4 arms. Run it over. That thing's got horns sticking out of his head. Run it over. Let's just take a quick look. Okay, so you actually, things don't. They get out of your way or they are under the wheels. They don't have nearly as much of a chance as maybe would be good for them. So you have very little problem running over everything that, that looks demon. Oh, look, there's a whole pack of demons. Let's run them over. So, yeah, that goes on for a little while. As you are getting, you're now driving along the river Styx. And, again, Frick is either looking at the map or trying to figure out how guns work. What exactly is Frick doing? Because that was a low roll.
I imagine him again, just like still has the map and trying to make sense between what he's seeing pertaining to the map, while also going through the ways of
the exact same thing that probably made the cartographer insane to start with. So yeah, you're like, hey, that looks familiar. Look down, it's gone now. Okay, we should be heading for this big. No, it's not there anymore. But fortunately, Michael's like, I see the river. I'm going to head in this direction. So while Frick is looking for landmarks that move, literally move, you see there's something weird happening out in the water. You see a ship. There's a galley out there. It looks to be manned by, well, with that investigation, you know they're fiends, but you're not sure which type. And they seem to be fighting something with tentacles. You do recognize a kraken when you see one.
Frick!
Hell of a kraken.
Frick!
Yes.
Unleash the harpoons upon the kraken.
What kind of shipmate do you think I am?
Let me pull up your ride and I'll send you the actual details because I mean because this thing does have actual stats for how to work the harpoon guns. Except I can't find it. If you have your book handy, it's the War Machine that has the wrecking ball. Because when you know it, for once I can't find the one that I want.
Okay, so one of our guns.
Oh yeah, and the dude is with you. He's just kind of taking it all in as he sees it. Damn it. I'm on the menu and I just cannot find War Machines.
Devil's Right, Tormentor, Demon Grinder, Scavenger.
Why is it always a kraken? Why must it always be a kraken?
So we're on the Demon Grinder.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Okay, Demon Grinder, Wrecking Ball, 2 Harpoon Flingers. Funny name.
So you can be on one of them, and they have quite a bit of range if you want to shoot at the Kraken. For the record, I'll take another history check if you want to try to think about, would this belong here? Michael, you have never heard of a Kraken in hell.
Not even Draken the Kraken?
No, that was probably okay. So maybe you read one one fictional story about a kraken in hell, but it's new. It's definitely new.
So what we're officially saying is that hell was Kraken lacking, and now it's got them all over the place. Okay.
I am not giving you any credit for that whatsoever. But yes, there are some sort of fiend that is currently fighting a kraken.
Okay.
And you just gave Frick the order to shoot at it. Frick, did you bother to learn how this demon grinder works?
Frick has driven it. Is the most he has done.
Okay. So I think it'd be a lot of fun to have Frick try to figure out the controls if he wants to shoot at this thing. So that would be an investigation to figure out how the harpoon gun works.
Oh, that's always my best stat. Wonderful.
Okay.
And I see a handle. And
Yeah.
maybe 17 buttons.
It shouldn't really be this complicated, but everything's just bouncing around. Frick, making a man. Oh God! I gave you an excuse to use your prop.
There's
I want you to
one
make an
has
attack
fire?
roll at disadvantage.
Right, those are +5 to fire.
Make some sort of roll for at disadvantage for shooting this thing.
Wonderful.
You had a very large target. And yet you still somehow managed to shoot your harpoon into the fiends.
I imagine it was just where it's like he initiated the weapons properly, but just where he thought the cannon was aiming was off.
Yeah.
So he thought it was like locked on target, but the cannon's like ajar to the right.
Yeah. And with that, like I said, you harpoon at least 2 of the fiends, and one of them falls into the water, where the Kraken immediately, slams down on him, and that takes a lot of the fight out of the fiends, because
We kind of swayed the fight.
yeah, I mean they were already up against a really powerful creature anyway. So it. But now that you've taken some of the pressure off by taking their gunners out, the Kraken has less problems sinking their ship. The ones who are able to, use magic to get away, some of them go into the water, and then you see the Kraken start to make its way to shore. And unless you intervene in some way, shape, or fashion, you watch as it swims to shore and then crawls out.
Michael's definitely going to intervene at this point. He's going to try and run over the tentacles that come up on the ground.
Okay, you're going to try to run over the Kraken. Did I mention this thing is gargantuan?
No, you did. I'm just trying to get the ends of the tentacles as they come up onto the ground. So it's just like,
Okay.
that is not good. I don't
Uh,
know in whatever universe of walking, talking Kraken is.
Yeah. Okay. Let's call that a dexterity check. I'm trying to remember. I'm checking into Demon Grinder again, but I think for like its
Demon Grinder
wheels,
can
it's
move
really
through-
just more of a. Okay. Let me give the Kraken a roll. Yeah, he's not doing great. Okay. So you're able to just get those. Yeah, he definitely failed that because he really has more of a save for that. Let's roll. Let me bring up a roller so you can see what we're getting.
If we're going towards the roof, we better be using the chomper.
It, let's see what you. Okay, you run over its tentacles pretty well, and it lets out sounds. They are not pleasant sounds by any means. And let me figure some stuff out here. Okay. Oh, the Kraken, now being rather annoyed at you, is going to attempt to grab you up in his hands or
Come on,
whatever.
Be on our side.
Yeah. Let me check. Let's see.
And please not have like a plus 18 to hit.
Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't have an 18 to hit. It has a 17 to hit. So yeah, the ride is going to take. Let me see. It's got a threshold. Um, yeah, the ride is going to take some damage, and is with after the threshold. Let's say you take 10 points of damage after that. After, so that's take 10 points off the demon grinder. 190 HP. Somebody please keep track of that for me.
Got it.
And while it has you wrapped up in the grapple, it's going to attempt to throw you. And I think that's probably more of a roll for the Kraken than it is a save for the ride.
Yeah.
And he has a plus 10 to strength. The demon grinder is going up in the air. What do you two want to do?
Michael's gonna try and
the
pilot
wrecking
it so that it lands
They
without
try to
taking
dislodge
damage.
it.
One at a time. Frick, what were you doing?
I would like to try to move to the wrecking ball part of the vehicle and try to loosen the grip.
Okay. You're going to try to loosen a Kraken's grip. Let's give you a strength check. Michael, you're trying to steer a vehicle that is in the air. Give me a dex check at disadvantage.
For heaven's sakes, Michael.
Okay.
Okay, that's a dexterity save. You wanted a dex check
That'll
or a
be
dex-
fine. Let's go ahead and let's see how Frick is doing in
Strength.
combination with what you're
All right.
doing.
You cannot roll higher.
Frick,
I cannot
you're
roll
pulling
above
on this
10.
great big tentacle that is the size of you, and it's not moving. Michael, you start turning the wheels deftly. Then you realize the wheels are not connected to anything because it's now being flipped upside down. Let's just see about something. It's going into the water, and you two are going with it because nobody tried to get off the ride.
Eject.
I will let you try that at disadvantage, Rick, because you didn't try to do it earlier.
Okay, so what? So what am I rolling?
If you want to try and eject yourself, I guess that's probably a dexterity at disadvantage.
Alrighty. Considering how I've been rolling today, this is only gonna be funny.
Yeah.
Oh, not as fun as I
Okay.
thought. But okay.
Frick, you do manage to give up at the last second and go running along the side and jump off. While you see Captain Michael go down with the demon grinder.
Michael Dimension doors
It's
out.
not a reactionary thing. You use your action to steer. Make a constitution save as the ride hits the water.
Oh, fuck me.
You still battalion controller.
Michael,
Do it again, I
you
wasn't
know what
looking.
happens when you hit the water. I forgot about the dude. He needs. Let me just double check his. Yeah, the dude does not have great dexterity either. Let me. Yeah, that didn't help him. The dude is going into the water with you because he just didn't react in time. And Frick, you see two of your friends land in the water, and then they just borderline go comatose. The Kraken does not really seem to care about insignificant things now that they are no longer bothering him and continues to crawl out of the water. Your friends are just drifting by.
Just imagine at this moment, just Frick is just trying to get his bearings.
You do hear the voice of the hidden Lord shield that Michael was carrying. It's like, you morons, get me out of here. And then you hear another disembodied voice go, oh, for crying out loud. And Corvus appears and starts rummaging through Frick's bag looking for rope.
I help him get him the rope.
Yeah, he does not find rope. I'm just having to do.
This is a serious moment. I can't get the chuckles to stop.
Frick, as the Kraken crawls up, he just kind of looks at you with one of his great big eyes and says, I appreciate the help. And then, from you, if you need assistance, you may call on me. And then he just starts to crawl away from the water.
I just like Frick just like without thinking just salutes as he sees it swim away. There's some to show respect.
Let me see how Corvus is doing. Corvus is not able to grab hold of Michael in any way he feels is safe. It's like, damn it, I can't let him die. I can't get in the water either.
Do I need to make another Constitution check?
No, you're already a vegetable. I'm just deciding that you're a vegetable who isn't drowning just yet. And I just want to say that, like, Lulu and the unicorn moon color are with Trevor because they don't think too really highly of Michael from past events. Mooncolor, who remembers that you stood back and laughed with a devil while Trevor tried to save his life, especially doesn't think highly of you. They're just drifting, and the dude and Michael are just drifting like cordwood in what is about to start picking up speed if someone doesn't act.
Imagine just Yeah, I'm trying to get the giggle out. I swear. I'm just trying to imagine it's like to the level of monk that Frick is, so he can run across water and just pick them up in a swoop. But what would that require?
Do you want to make an intelligence check?
Sure. Worth a shot. Let's go.
Frick starts taking off across the water. As soon as your feet touch the river Styx, make a constitution roll. I'm having to look up so many things for this.
This is how I die.
I am trying to. I'm just looking up something. Frick. You essentially become a vegetable yourself. I'm not even going to bother with the psychic damage because your intelligence and charisma becomes 1. Now, I'm going to say that it does specify that you do remember your friends as friends, even though you're about as stupid as can be.
Yeah, I can still tell friend and foe.
Yeah. So, guys, even though you now each have 1 intelligence, and there is this flapping bird-like creature, not that you know what a bird is, this flapping thing you identify as an ally. It's like, swim to shore, this way. But you hear, ma 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 ma, wah, 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 wah. Michael, you remember, well, you don't remember how, but a certain amount of instinct kicks in, and you start kind of paddling yourself to shore. It's more of a doggy paddle, I suppose, but you're heading to shore.
That's a 15, by the way. I hadn't adjusted for the -5. So yeah, I just start.
Well, you got 2 20s on, even though you're an idiot right now. You were, to start heading towards your friend. For the sake of everything else, the dude will also start heading in that general direction when he sees you heading in that general direction. I'm going to let Frick decide what Frick does at 1.
The question is he just now in the water? Is he still standing and running in circles?
I think that you kept right on running as far as you could. But once you ran out of room to run, you stopped and then you went under.
That sounds about right. Just Wile E. Coyote style, just looks down and just, water's getting close.
The Kraken did not seem to notice any of this, and as such, is heading on wherever he was going. Let's see about Corvus.
Did I miss anything?
Yeah, your friends all took a dip in the Styx.
Why?
Got thrown
This is
into
what
it by a
happens when I'm
Kraken.
not
They
there.
decided
Got
to
thrown.
intervene in a fight between some Yugoloth and a Kraken by attacking the Kraken, except they missed.
Why would you attack a Titan? I mean, we don't know that, but
No, well, maybe once. Anyway, the point is, because Michael ran over the Kraken as it was trying to get out of the water, it threw them into the water. Frick ran across the water trying to save them, but then rolled poorly on his
oh
save.
no!
So right now, Michael has at least had the instinct to start heading towards Corvus. The dude is following him as they doggy paddle, and
Wait, so hold on. Everybody is soaked in the river Styx right now?
well, except for you because you're in the pocket dimension.
Oh.
So that's why. But Corvus has
If you
found.
turn my elephant, I will kill you all.
Fortunately, all the Celestials are in there with you because they don't like Michael that much. Now let me talk. Corvus has found a length of stick and is trying to get Frick to grab a hold to it, which is basically trying to like put it in your face and wave it around as you hear.
Now that I'm dealing with an even dumber Frick, I imagine he's trying to poke him, so I imagine Frick just bites down on the rope.
Okay,
Because I imagine it is pure animal instincts now with Frick.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. You bite down on the stick. Make a strength check. This is jaw strength check, I guess.
Good, that's a good job.
Now let's see how well Corvus does. It's slow going, and Corvus has trouble fighting the currents, but Frick at least keeps a grip on the stick while Corvus is dragging him over. And it's like, they are not worth this. They are not worth this. I don't want to be an imp again. I don't want to be an imp again. Maybe I won't get into too much trouble if they die. Corvus is able to drag you to shore. I'm going to say you still have the instinct to get out of the water. But you're really good at role-playing low intelligence. Does he have the instinct to get out of water? I mean, maybe he thinks he's a fish now.
I imagine it's just like he knows not to stay in water for too long.
Okay.
I'm not hunting for anything here.
Yeah. So somehow Corvus is able to get you out. And then he kind of corrals you all somewhere. And again, you none of you can understand, but he's doing a lot of muttering. Oh. And he's going to start fishing through bags until he finally finds a shiny rock that he pulls out of the bag.
Shiny.
I don't even think you have the capability of talking.
No, not with the intelligence of one and a charisma of one.
Yeah. So for you, it's like, yeah, but you are watching as your feathery friend pulls out a shiny rock and vanishes for a second. The rock falls to the ground. A moment later, he reappears with the golden sparkly elephant who they have a little bit of a back and forth. And then one of them vanishes again, comes back with a horse with a horn, who then gives a long suffering sigh and will be like, and goes over to, I forget how to pronounce what species the dude is, but a bright light, and suddenly the dude is restored. The dude will then restore the two of you to intelligence. I'm just going to go through and mark off some of his spells because I know I have it. I just forget which spell it is or what level it is. Anyway, you two are now intelligent again. And the dude is like, guys, I don't, want to always like, have to be like this, but I kind of had to use, some stuff, some. I have to ask if y'all could like reimburse me for, components to make you not stupid. I'm gonna need a couple hundred gold, to buy more diamonds with later.
Michael just hands over 300 gold.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And he gives you back, here's your change. Giving you back 100. Oh,
Keep the
well,
change. Keep the change.
that's nice of you. I appreciate that. I'll make sure to use it to buy more diamond dust, because I'm being told this isn't the first time you've gone into the River Styx. Don't go into the River Styx, man. It's not good for you.
Michael just looks around and goes, "Dude, where's the car?"
And kind of looks around. Dude, where is the car? And then Corvus starts shouting, "Why would you pick a fight with a freaking giant sea monster? What is wrong with you?" Do you know how much trouble I'm going to be in if something happens to you? I do not want to be an imp again.
No, I don't want you to be an imp again. I just want the car back. I thought that thing was going to come on land and do a lot more damage because Kraken in the river Styx.
And he kind of looks around to the wasteland that is Avernus. And he's like, yeah, wouldn't want to mess up this view.
I mean, yeah, the sweltering heat, the entire, non-under Styxness of it. Because a Kraken, if it takes control of this entire area, is going to figure out a way to dam up the Styx and flood this entire area.
Why would it want to be here? Why would it try to take control?
Ask yourself that same question.
Okay, just as a general point of reference, the only thing that wants to be here are the demons. The devils don't even want to be here. That's why we go to the mortal realm the second some half-crazed wizard opens up a portal. I don't want to be here, and I'm born here. Chances are it didn't want to be here, but now it is here, and now it hates you. And you lost the car. You people are going to die. And then I'm going to get turned into a Lemur. No, I'm not even going to do that. They're going to turn me into a coin and put me into the ride.
You guys lost the war machine?
We got thrown into the river Styx.
So we didn't exactly lose it. We know exactly where it is.
Corvus is blinking at you.
How do you lose the whole war machine?
Because the
Where the
Kraken
hell? There's
threw it
Kraken.
into the water.
Why? I can't trust you people to be alone. I thought me and Michael alone were a bad thing.
In Frick's defense, he did not actually attack the Kraken.
He
Frick
attacked the...
obviously gets a pass.
Mostly because it
He's
was such a
passed
poor
on everything.
shot.
Yeah,
The shot was so
Frick-
bad, the Kraken thought he was helping.
And again, it was Michael's orders to fire, and
This
Rick
is
a
also
minion
true.
At heart,
I just want to point. Oh my god.
you can point a lot of things.
Corvus, Michael, listen to me, okay? Hear what I'm saying. If you see anything with a heartbeat in hell, it doesn't want to be here. Unless it's under orders.
It's a Kraken in the middle of the river Styx.
So you just attack it.
That isn't being affected, from what I can see, by the waters.
It is a titan. It is almost immortal. Did you ever think to yourself, it probably shouldn't be here? that it probably came here by accident? That it doesn't want to get shot?
Could have helped it. I don't know how Trevor got here, but I'm here now.
Yeah, you
Did you
came
ever think-
out when Corvus popped into the pocket dimension and said, "There's trouble. I need magic."
Okay. I'm still driving, so I'll go on mute here in a bit, but I had to put in my 2 cents.
Yes, I was going to have you show up to yell at them anyway.
I just have this image of Trevor's head just poking out from the pocket dimension hole and just going, "What are you idiots up to?"
Because that's exactly what happened. Okay, I'm going back on mute. I'm driving.
Look. And Carter's like, look, if you guys die, my boss isn't going to be happy. I mean, I wasn't told I actually had to keep you alive. I just had to make sure you didn't, go back on the deal.
Yeah. Which,
But-
technically, if I die, that's not going back on the deal. That's just me, not really being able to follow through on it because I
And I could have just
Screwed
taken
up.
your completely idiotic self to him to be turned into something useful. That might work, actually.
Corvus? No.
Hey, apparently I can't, I've never seen someone who wants to be in the river Styx, more than a Hydroloth. And guess what? They're immune to the water.
maybe I secretly have Hydroloth lineage at some point in my family history.
And oddly enough, that's when a head pops out of the water. Trust me, even we don't want you in the gene pool here. And there is a Hydroloth who's just apparently thought this was mildly interesting and popped up.
Do you think you could bring our car back?
And kind of looks down into the water. I could.
There should be a ship. If the ship has been taken by the Kraken down there, whatever goods are inside of it, of course, as payment for getting the car back up.
So you're going to pay me with something you don't have access to. If you want to go down and get whatever was left in the ship and then pay me, okay. Otherwise, you don't have it.
If you know of a way for me to be able to traverse the waters and get into the ship without, being completely obliterated in mind, body, and soul, that would be great. Because then I could grab it, bring it out to you, then pay you a smaller portion because then I'll have salvaged it.
I might know a way.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to negotiate for that answer? And Corvus leans in. They like money. The Hydroloft just sort of sighs and like, okay, you're still apparently waterlogged. For 500 gold a day, I will happily assist you in all your aquatic needs here in lovely Avernus.
No. I'd rather like to be able to just traverse the waters myself without any harmful impact. Because after all, the deal is about information.
Okay,
Mike,
300 gold.
For that information.
Yes, just for that answer.
It's going to be no, isn't it?
Andy heard you. He's just staring.
This is out of character.
That's
There's
a
a
bit
part of
steep,
me
don't
just.
you think?
that
I mean,
just
after
wants
all,
us
what
to
are you
be-
going to have to do with gold down there? or anywhere here. It's not even the currency that you use.
No, the devils use soul coins, and if you have those, I'll take them in exchange. Mortals typically have gold, so I will take gold.
But gold is useless to you in this dimension.
In this dimension, I can use it to buy information from mortals. I can even trade it to the devils in exchange for goods and services. It's just that they only use it for trading back to you. But Mammon, he loves gold. He loves everything of value. He's almost mortal in that respect. You see, they use it to trade to you, so therefore they need it. And my services just happen to be for sale at the moment. Or you can pay me less money and I will tell you a way that you can be in the water safely.
How often do actual physical human beings come through?
Well, you're here, aren't you? And this
Yeah.
isn't my home. I'm just here because of work.
But how the heck are you actually able to traverse through the waters then?
And that's when Corvus is like, because like 30 seconds ago I told you that they're immune to the water?
Yeah, but what
Your
makes a
bird friend
hydroloth
is
immune?
right.
No, what makes a hydroloth immune to the water?
We just are. It's why we're so valuable here.
Maybe we shouldn't be making any more deals with things on this. Just a thought.
You know, I'm only offering my assistance. I mean, if you don't want it, I've got a war machine to go collect, and then I'll sell that to one of the bands, the warlords around here.
All right, Michael ruffles through and goes, "How about 200?"
Make a persuasion check.
There's that part of me just wants to be like a hell version of Lady in the Lake. She comes out with a gold demon grinder. Is this your cup?
He will accept 200 gold in exchange for telling you a method that you can be inside the river Styx.
Michael pays over the 400, pays over the 200.
He'll tell you, okay, there is a devil that is currently in Zariel's fortress. Well, not her fortress, like the docking station for her fortress. And he loves to experiment ways to get into the water. And he's always looking for some test subjects to try out his latest device. And Andy probably has a name. He's trying to find him now.
How many of these devices have worked?
Well, I don't need them myself, but he's actually seems to have it mostly waterproof. Like he was like 90% there last time I checked.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like scanning because there's so much, you guys have me jumping all over the module. And unless you have some other use for me, I bid you good day.
Would you get the car for us for 200 gold?
Make another persuasion check. He's like, it is kind of a pain to resell those things, sure. So for
Michael gives him that.
okay, you give him another 2 in gold, and he disappears. It's going to take him a little while, but eventually your war machine comes rumbling out of the water.
Michael starts using prestidigitation to clean it off of all the sticks of water.
Michael, what did we learn today?
Actually, more than anything, it just needs a few minutes to dry.
Never do something without checking with you first.
I thought we already had that established, but you know what? I'll take it as a lesson learned.
No, you had that established with Rihanna, not with me.
Rihanna wouldn't listen to me even if I wasn't me.
Hey, I have an idea. Why don't you listen to me? Corvus says. You know, the guy who's from here. I was a spy here for longer than any of you have been alive. I mean, granted, the place changes up all the time, and I was gone for like 20 years, but still, I know not to go into the water. Frick,
I
you were
thought
supposed to be in
Michael would do
charge when
that
I wasn't
too,
around.
but then again, there's a lot of things I thought I knew about Michael, but he surprises me every day.
You know, there is a saying, "Me live in interesting times."
Do we?
Well, can you say that you don't without me around?
I don't know if it's interesting or suicidal at this point. I might be worried if I didn't know you better.
And you hear the voice of the hidden lord in your head. Could you please just give me to someone competent? I want out of here.
We're working
We'll
on
find you a way out.
No, just give me to someone else. You people are going to die. And then I'm going to be at the bottom of the river Styx waiting
I've
for one of
technically died-
them.
What was that, Danny?
I said I've technically died 3 times, so I mean I got a pretty good track
That's
record so
not
far.
helping me feel more confident in you being my holders.
Technically, I've died 4 times.
Dude, that's like 4 more than you should. Wait a minute, you're going to have to die at least once. That's 3 more than
You know,
you
maybe
should.
we should just give the Hidden Lord to Frick right now. I don't
Hey,
think
Frick.
he's died at all.
Frick. Would you like to hold a demon that's been trapped inside of a shield while we try and figure out a way to...
If I must.
Devil, Michael.
Devil. A devil. Sorry, Hidden Lord. That is actually the player's mistake. Michael's actually a bit more kind about the distinction.
Pretty sure Hidden Lord was a pit fiend. Is a
Yes,
pit fiend. I don't
yes.
fucking know. He's a shield right now.
At some point, we're just going to have to start going with his actual name, which, is just kind of hard to pronounce because...
If you send it to me, I might be able to pronounce it. Oh, look, my house.
I am... I'm looking up other things, but it's like Garoth.
Okay, I'm home. I'll be on my computer in a bit here.
That's okay, because Corvus is still just trying to find some way to explain stupidity to Michael.
And it's not getting into Michael at all. He's just pretty much like, but that's a genius idea. Trying to wind Corvus up.
Like, you know what? Fine. Next time you go into the water, I'm going to sell you to somebody. Because at least I might as well try to get another promotion out of it.
At least I'll prove a use.
He just shakes his head and turns invisible again.
What should really be scaring you, Corvus, is the fact that with as much as I have been a dipshitty disappointment, I've helped you gain. Think about that. I am the equivalent of middle management. Nobody understands why I'm around. I seem to just not survive. I seem to just survive death. But for some reason, those around me tend to get something out of it.
I've got a headache. Because you decided that when you saw something that didn't belong in hell, you wanted to run it over. I mean, it was a lot of fun watching you run over all the other devils and demons along the way. I didn't know those guys. So that was hilarious.
See, my incompetence has made you laugh. I give you the gift of unwarranted joy at times. Also, I'm pretty much like a child. Oh, God.
I'm going to let you have that one right there.
There are moments of insane amounts of insight, and then you just kind of sit there going, oh, God, what have I unleashed? Oh, it is my circus, and this is my monkey. Oh. But anyways, tree. Shall we
Yeah.
go plant it?
You finally get back in behind the wheel. Corvus has probably got a few comments about you driving. Unless somebody wants to stop him from driving.
Hey, at least I'm not running into a kraken again.
Oh, well, he went that way if you want to go try again.
Nah.
What? You sure you don't want to die a horrible death pointlessly again? Because it seems to be your pastime.
Fifth time might be a charm, you're saying?
Hey, I get some credit just for guiding you to your own stupid death. Because then you're going to wind up right back in the sticks, only without your body.
Well, yeah, that's right. If I die here, I stay here. Huh.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Just so long as nobody else has claim to my soul.
And he, of course, pops out a contract. I can handle that.
Corvus. Seriously?
Hey, do you want a stranger in charge of your soul, or do you want your good friend who just got you back out of the river again?
If I do permanently die in this entire place, you're probably going to be in the number one position to be able to grab my soul as soon as it leaves my body, no matter what happens.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Look, I get some credit for corrupting you, but you know what? Never mind. Just go plant your stupid tree.
Corvus, credit for corrupting me. Credit for corrupting me, really? Credit for corrupting me, the guy.
I said some credit. You're pretty corrupted to start with.
Some. Really, some.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
I'll do
God
that.
Slayer. You think that makes you a good person? No, you're gonna wind up down here. I ain't got to do nothing for that, except profit on you as far as I can before your next bath. And then I'm selling you to Mad Maggie. because she'll think it's hilarious.
Well, yeah. She'll either put me into a shrine or she'll turn me into some twisted little thing that she can have her way with.
So if you want to try to drive again, I'll take another navigation check, survival
That's
check.
survival. As
You are
soon as it
now
starts,
heading in a direction along the river. The whole place does shift around you, so yeah, direction is kind of hard. What was the perception for?
to see if I was going in the right direction,
Well,
or at least to make sure that I didn't end up in the sticks again, because that would just be
no,
hilarious.
you didn't wind up in the sticks. I mean, you think you're heading in the right direction. Again, it's not like there's even the map isn't that reliable.
Yeah.
So you start driving for a ways, and let's see. I'll say you've been driving for a couple hours. Everybody who wants, give me a perception check. Let's see what you see. Michael, you see what? You can see Zariel's tower floating in one direction, and that's somewhat interesting. And Frick, you realize that you are heading deeper into Avernus right now, but you also see the that docking tower for the flying fortress that the Yugoloth was just talking about.
I convey this information to Michael.
Well, I was supposed to be heading towards a place where I could plant the tree. Shall we head towards the dock? What does Trevor say? Trevor, where shall we head? Because I
You'll
wanted
have
to
to
get
catch
this.
me up. What happened? Besides you almost losing everything.
They are. He got turned around and he's going deeper into Avernus as opposed to the edge of Avernus, and he's currently heading for the Stygian dock. Frick, you can hear the map say the flying fortress of Avernus needs fuel, and what better fuel than the souls of the damned?
Thanks, brain.
And Michael is so going.
So
Michael
we're
just-
going to the docks.
Michael just sets it back into its place, and then just goes, "No, not right now." Do you want to go to the docks? What can we do with the docks besides talking to the guy who could potentially get us, a suit to test out to see if it could get us into the sticks?
Well, why do we have to go to the sticks for one?
I need to
You
get.
have to do a little to catch up, Danny. I'm very behind.
He was trying to plant the last viper tree seed that he needs to, and that needs to be at best at the edge of the border between Limbo and Avernus.
Oh, okay.
And-
So why don't we just go towards the edge?
That's what they were doing before Kraken
Okay.
and poor rolls and even worse decisions.
Okay.
And then
Like
more
teenage-
poor rolls.
It's like we're teenagers who have just been introduced to vodka, but only
So-
through dice.
Yeah, there's
When
a
you
roll
rushing
roll a
repair
negative
dock.
1 on an intelligence check, you go with your gut.
And then it turns out to be a -1.
So I guess should we just follow Frick's directions then, since he seems to know where he's going?
He does have the map, so if anything, he's got the best directions out of everyone.
That is true. You're so loud.
Okay, so you're going to turn around and go in the other direction, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So you are cruising along, and you don't come across any more krakens. But
Oh, good. I was worried.
you do need to pop in another soul coin or walk, because after all that, it's running out of fuel, and you can hear it going.
It's just it's just chugging.
And then as soon as the coin goes in, Frick, you think you hear a faint scream of anguish as you let the coin go. But hey,
That was odd. Continue on.
but it'll now run for another 3 days. And
Another 3 years?
days. 3 days.
Days.
Yeah. 72 hours.
My thing glitched just as you started saying. I'm like, years? Because I
No.
just read your lips.
How did you get years from days?
I don't read lips professionally, and I'm on a webcam. And I'm in the middle of a 10-day streak, okay? So give me a minute.
Yeah, I'll give you 5.
He was like, this is why I just like let the universe take me wherever I'm supposed to go, because then I don't have to worry about like being somewhere. I am.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
Yeah.
think about that though. The universe has led you to me.
Well, obviously you need my help, and that's why the universe has brought me here to help you.
You got a
And
point.
Corvus says, "Universe really hates you, doesn't it?" I never really thought of it like that.
Maybe the universe just doesn't care about its grand scheme of things. Maybe we're just tiny lost motes that are being played as chess pieces by greater lost motes, while the universe itself continues on through existence.
But if that were true, then why would we bother trying to do anything?
Because we exist and we define our own existences.
Exactly. But sometimes you need to be somewhere and you need to meet somebody. And then that's why I'm there.
Michael's even lost on that one. He can normally make up something to make it make sense in his own head, and he's just like, no, that doesn't make sense to me.
To make Michael speechless.
And that's why I'm here.
To quote a fantastic movie, if you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention.
And don't run over things bigger than you.
Also,
Yeah, that too.
Also, don't reach for margarita mix when there are grocery carts coming at your head.
What?
I might want to. He's like shaking his. Maybe my diamond dust had gone bad. I don't think I fixed his brain.
Dude, I'm pretty sure. No, there's no helping.
That's a good point. I can only restore
He's
it
too
back
deep
to.
in his own shit. He's past the core of the earth, and he's created his own dimension at this point.
That's pretty deep.
I have my moments.
And then it's like, oh, it's deep in that way too. Okay, so you're able to find your location, and you can in fact plant the last tree. And I have dogs howling, so I'm going to shut this off for a second.
Great.
Where are those
Now
hellhounds
we need-
coming from?
You might want to run. Apparently, there are hellhounds after you.
Get back in the car.
Everybody, file in.
Okay.
Maybe it's Crowley's dog.
So you plant the last tree, and sure enough, as before, the it starts to grow, and there are whispering vipers coming out of it. I can't shut off the mic because I'm the DM. I'm the one who's supposed to be able to keep talking. But you have finally accomplished that. Made another
So
enemy
what
along
was
the
this
way.
one? This is to find out shit about Victor?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
also need three containers of water from the river. Well, 3
Why
vials
didn't
of
you
water.
ask the thing that we were just talking to that's immune to the water?
Because I was a dick and it didn't really have any incentive to help me out in that sort of a way.
Well, stop being a dick. And that's coming from me.
Corvus is like, you could have paid it. I mean, it is a Yugoloth. They work for the highest bidder, literally. That's all they do is they look for who's going to offer them the best deal. And you tried to pay him with things in the river Styx. Why don't you just offer him some Kraken oil while you were at it? Yeah, just go collect it from the Kraken, who's right over there. Who's really angry at all living things, except maybe Frick.
What about me?
Well, you didn't help him, so I don't know. Maybe he won't eat you. I don't know what Krakens do.
What's a
Who's saying
Kraken,
it?
by the way?
Is this Corvus talking?
Yes, this is Corvus.
Corvus? Just think on that for a moment.
In what way? That I don't know what Krakens do? I don't deal with Krakens.
Me bartering with stuff that's not apparently mine.
You've already tried doing it. You seem to do it all the time.
Michael,
Oh.
I see what you're doing. But he doesn't barter with them. He offers a trade. That heavily usually favors their side, but...
And I can pay up what I'm offering. I don't tell people, hey, you see that big cave over there? There's treasure in it. If you do what I want, I'll point to it again, and you can go take it. That's a bad deal.
If you're successful on that, Corvus, I remember a certain jail scene where you couldn't exactly get keys for somebody.
You weren't actually there for that, so you don't know about it. You did hear about a few weeks later when there was an escape, and some people got
I
out.
thought we were told that. What? Never mind.
I only told Danny about the first time where he failed to let people out, but later on, he did let people out. And he didn't tell you about that either, because you're a paladin, and he doesn't tell you about what he's doing.
Get out of my shit.
You literally had an imp who was under no restraints whatsoever, except for Rihanna telling him to go away, so he went away, and he made deals with people.
My bad.
And when Corvus or Pip at that time makes a deal, he makes a deal he can uphold. Whereas Michael is like, hey, I just happen to be staying on this big thing of treasure. All you have to do to take this treasure is do what I want, because I can't go anywhere with it. And you used to try to say that you were going to teach me some things. I already knew not to go into the river Styx. Where are you heading to now, by the way? Because again, you guys could go talk to Belle, but you had mentioned just doing some other things too.
Oh, we could get the last bit for the 3 quest, and
Yes.
then we can move on to getting the sword. Move back to getting the.
And from what you
Alright, let's
understand,
go back to the river Styx.
you basically need to get some sort of enchanted bottle to, flask to hold the river Styx water. Otherwise, it will just turn into regular water.
We could maybe ask Mad Maggie if she has something. She likes you.
And
Yeah,
Corvus
let's
like,
just-
yeah, night hags have a way of collecting it. They like to trick people into drinking it and then make them do stupid things. Or they just eat their souls. Whichever.
Well, she's pretty much a Michael fan at this point, so maybe we might have some luck.
I like to imagine Freaks is up there with the harpoon gun, randomly pointing it at things.
I thought he was driving because of the thing in his lap.
He
That's the
can
harpoon
be.
gun.
I don't think he can do much worse driving it.
Jess, is that the Mech Warrior 3 controller?
No, this is the Steel Battalion controller for the original Xbox.
Oh my god, is that the one where you had to eject and otherwise you actually had to eject, otherwise it would just
eject or
delete
you
your
lose the
entire
save.
Oh my god.
So that's why when he said like you aim the harpoon gun, it's like I continue my legacy of having just conveniently a prop for almost every
I know, it's
situation.
really weird. That's why I can't just give you plot points for it anymore, because you constantly have something.
The benefits of having a
Well, you
small room,
could.
everything is nearby.
I could, but it's
He
almost
technically
like
could, Andy, because that means he's always prepared.
I
paired with a
could,
cat
but
and a
he
chicken nugget.
seems to accomplish it way too often. It's it's kind of hard to. It's rewarding him for being himself, which is already reward enough. Okay, so you guys want to try to find Mad Maggie again?
Yeah.
Okay, Lulu is not happy about this, but
Remember this.
it's like, why do you want to keep
Lulu, you can
dealing
stay
with
in here
night
with me.
hags? Okay,
Lulu, you liked her.
yeah, but I'm starting to remember she's not a good person. I mean,
Nobody
she did
down
kind
here
of.
is going.
She did help me to remember things, but not for good reasons. And doing a good thing for bad reasons is not good.
Lulu,
Sometimes you have to deal with bad people to help people that you care about.
And Mooncolored kind of looks at Michael, looks back at you.
yes, that explains so much now, doesn't it, Mooncolor?
The unicorn makes no comment. At least none that
It
you
would
can
also.
hear. Okay. I assume Michael is still driving, like I said, unless somebody takes him out of the seat. So,
Yeah.
Michael, make another survival check to try to find. Okay. You start heading in what you thought was the right direction, but then you realize everything's changed. You don't know how to get back.
Where's the map?
Could I try to help him?
I got it.
Okay. Yeah.
Michael looks at the map and goes,
Never mind.
"Where is Mad Maggie currently?"
You asked the map that? You hear a faint whisper coming from it, but you didn't quite understand it.
Where is Mad Maggie currently?
I want you to make a perception roll for attempting to hear it. You do hear something from the map. It's like the blood. There's so much blood. I'm drowning in the blood.
Where is the blood?
Blue skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. Everyone's gonna die.
We're already dead. Where is Mad Maggie?
Now it's just maniacal laughter.
Why are you yelling at the map?
Because the map is fruitier than I am.
So you yell at it?
Apparently.
You hear the voice of the hidden lord say, they did tell you that its cartographer went insane, didn't they?
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
Corvus is just...
You're literally the worst people to be in hell right
Yes you are. So you've been driving around and you
And that's
think you've been driving around in circles. It's sort of about as useful as anything else. Uh, I'll say that after an hour you can make. I'll let anybody who wants make a survival check, or maybe it's more of a perception because you're really looking for signs of Mad Maggie as opposed to actually figuring out where she is. Okay. Uh, Michael, you're pretty sure you see it's a few miles off. It's still kind of wavery, but you think you see what is hers. And that's when you hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, fiends of all alignment, get your tickets now. It's the Real Gem Dark Magic Show. And you hear the rumble and the fanfare as a huge platform being called by a couple of war machines is coming from the opposite direction of you.
We need to warn Maggie now.
So, do you want to try to double time it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Uh, yeah, I need to just check something because Corvus has an idea. I need to see how bad of an idea it is.
It's gonna be a Michael level idea.
Not entirely. I'm trying to remember something about the war machines. And let's see, it's under vehicles.
I mean, if you think it's a threat to her, I can use sending.
Okay, Corvus is like, if we collect some demon ichor, we can put it into the ride for a quick boost.
Michael looks at the tires,
Which are spiked metal.
but we've been running over demons though. Like trying to go. Is there still some there? Is there like any?
Yeah, I mean these it's called a grinder for a reason. This is basically a tank. You're not losing tread from running over demons and devils.
No, but is there like demon ichor in the treads or anything like that?
No, it doesn't really collect, but you're not too far from the river Styx, and there's plenty in there.
All right.
Demon ichor isn't a hard thing to find. It's
Let's get-
literally all over the place.
All right, let's grab some and let's go and get there as quickly as possible because this is not going to end happy if we do not get there before he.
Okay. How do you want to go about collecting it?
Glass, anything, just anything that keeps it from actually touching my skin.
That's why I'm asking, how do you want to collect it? How are you doing it without touching it?
I'm gonna use a pot to scoop it up.
Okay. So you collect it, you pour it into the gas tank, and it's like adding nitrous to a car. Everybody just, you're suddenly going a lot faster than you were. And you were, you're making your way towards what you think is Mad Maggie. You hear the dude like, I wanted to see the magic show. I've heard of this guy. I don't know what he's doing here, but I heard of him.
What have you heard of him?
Well, Jim Dark Magic, he's like a celebrity, man. He puts on a good show. Again, I don't know what he's doing here, but and Corvus is like, yeah.
Hold on to your face.
Anyway, so you are within we're gonna say about half an hour. You can make it to Mad Maggie, and you're parked outside the gates. The red caps look at you. What's the password?
I'm just
But
gonna
it's
say this
not.
with as much persuasiveness as possible. Meatballs.
Make a persuasion roll. Okay. Wait. Did we make it meatballs? What's a meatball? Well, it's a ball that's made of meat. Oh, you mean like that weird talking thing? Yeah, that thing. Why would we make that? And they're gonna keep this up for a couple of minutes.
Just open the frickin' door.
Oh, fine, fine.
Michael goes running in. Maggie, two things. Where can I get some vials to hold water of the sticks without it losing its potency? And Jim Dark Magic's traveling show is like about to hit this.
Wait. First things first. Was it Jim Dark Magic or the real Jim Dark Magic?
The real Jim Dark Magic.
Everybody, battle stations! Battle stations! It's the real Jim Dark Magic. I'm not sitting through that show again.
See Frick panicking just on the harpoon guns already.
He's like, that's right, bear guy. And she's running around. You see the flesh golem Mickey limping after her as she's yelling out orders to people.
I am so confused.
Michael's gonna try and rally the troops.
They're already kind of rallied. So this is like when you were back in the temple, the monastery of the Forsaken Body, when you were telling everybody, keep doing what you're doing. You can do it, but it's kind of pointless. As everybody is basically getting ready for war here.
Yeah, no, I can't. I don't have that. I don't have that feat that gives everybody temporary hit points. I forgot about that.
Inspiring leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now that you've caused havoc,
I'm just gonna be standing off to the side watching all this play out with Mooncolor and Lulu.
yeah, and they're standing
like-
with you.
Michael's gonna point to some of the lesser imps and go, one of you man the wrecking ball, another one on the harpoons with Frick.
And there are two imps, pins and needles. They kind of look at you. Then they look at your ride and is like, wow, we ain't going out there.
If I bring it in and it acts as a guard to the door.
They kind of look at you and then they look at their walls, which are higher than your ride. And like, yeah, we're not going out there.
And they could provide full cover rather than 3/4 cover.
Basically, you're saying that you want them to get involved in the fight, and they don't want to do that.
But
And the red caps and the mad caps, they're running around. Basically, you're pretty sure, those of you paying attention, you don't think they're actually going anywhere. It's like they run in one direction, turn around, run in the other direction. And
pure panic. Wonderful.
some people actually seem to be getting a few defenses ready, but the mad caps are, like I said, they just run in. They're running in circles sometimes. And you swear that one batch is literally just running in place.
Michael's gonna try and give them some direction.
Make just a general charisma check. Okay, what kind of direction are you giving them?
Where to set up in defensive positions where they could
Okay.
do the most.
So these 3-foot tall guys with knives just like run and stand at the wall. And they do that for a couple of minutes and then they start running in circles somewhere else. And one of the magpies, the two Kinku kind of come over and it's like, and says in Mad Maggie's voice, they ain't quite right, you know. and then just wanders off. Just so you know,
Okay.
this chaos is basically going to keep up for an hour before things calm down. Just want you to know how much of the day has been wasted.
Just gonna be standing, watching this with the two, just watching.
Yeah. Mad Maggie is up there with some binoculars. All right, everybody, the coast is clear. It looks like he's moving on to greener pastures. Figuratively speaking, because, nothing around here is green except for the food that you eat. And it ain't supposed to be green.
Let alone is it supposed to still be breathing most of the time.
Well, I guess that just depends on your diet. I don't mind a little bit of squirmy meat.
Maggie,
Yeah.
where would I be able to procure 3 vials that could hold the water of the sticks without allowing it to lose its potency?
And she grins. Oh, I can make you some flasks for that.
Okay.
I
How
said,
much is it going to cost me?
You're finally catching on there, Sonny. That's gonna be 2 soul coins apiece.
What can I do for them?
What can you do?
Oh God.
Michael just goes through an entire list of all of his abilities from intimidation, performance, persuasion, everything that he's done in the past. And I do mean everything.
I'm already quite familiar with your ability to get other people killed, but I'm not exactly. I mean, well, nah, there's no point in you sending you after all of them. I'll tell you what. I will give you all the 6 water you want if you just take all those nice little skills and that nice resume, and you collect something from me.
What do you need then?
I want one of the rarest of the rare artifacts of Zariel there is. I want her tear. You see, I can't go fetch it myself, and most of my acquaintances, well, either they can't stand on the ground or they're just not bright enough to actually do the job. So you bring me that tear there, pretty boy, and, well, old Maggie, she'll set you up with all the water you could want.
Say we just wanted 3 flasks. What would that cost us in coin?
6
Or soul coins?
6 soul coins.
We don't have that much.
Oh, well, I suppose we could find something that's a little bit more within your sensibility, since you don't want to do the hard work. I'll tell you what. If you can bring me 2 of Ragged Draga's war rides, I'll set you up with some flask.
Where is Ragged Dragon normally?
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't, just sit in one spot. And even if he did, that spot would move around. You're just going to have to go ride around and look for him.
How will I know it's him?
Well, he ain't going to be me, for starters, and that's my biggest concern. But his crew is mostly made up of werefolk. And, it doesn't have to actually be from Raga Draga, but if it is, then that's just, that's just icing on top of the maggot. Oh, or you could give me that unicorn there. I'll take the unicorn.
The unicorn's not up for being sold. Okay.
Oh, really?
Sweetheart, you're dealing with me, not the unicorn.
She gets a little bit of a. There's a gleam in her eye, and it ain't the friendly kind.
Maggie,
Mad
come on.
Maggie.
Mad Maggie.
Thank you. It's my name, and I like to be
Man.
called by my name.
The reason why he's not up for being sold is because he's not mine to sell.
Well, then that means that well, that just means he's not a part of the current negotiations. But you go out and you bring me 2 more machines, and I give you your flask. I'll even have them pre-filled for you.
So just two war machines.
Yeah, like I said, if they
If it's
happen to,
Ragadrag is even better.
yeah, if it has to be coated in blood, I ain't gonna ask whose, unless of course he's still alive and you can collect some of his blood, because I know somebody who makes some poppets and I can make his life even more miserable than it already is.
All right. Starts heading out towards the war machine.
Okay. I'm gonna guess you guys are gonna ride along with them. Okay. So you are headed out in your war machine, looking for other war machines.
So, question, real quick, before
Yeah.
we get too far. Dariel's tier, do we know what that is?
Michael does.
If you want to talk to Lulu about it.
I would like to talk to Lulu
Okay.
about it.
Ah, you see, Zariel's tear is when she first fell, and she was losing, herself. She shed a tear, and that's like a really powerful thing when an angel like her sheds a tear. Some people call them artifacts because they just radiate all this energy. You can use them you can bless a river, like the whole river, with one of those. So that in hell created like a big patch of blessed ground. And the fiends, they can't touch it.
It's also by legend where the souls of those who came into hell and were killed are being protected from the rest of the demons, those who came with her. It's
Well,
that powerful an artifact.
some of them, not all of them.
No. Like I said, only some of them, not all of them. But yeah,
Definitely not
It's-
something we want her to have. Then.
no. And
Maybe it's something we could. No. Sounds like something that might be good to stay here.
It is kind of well, they, like I said, they can't really touch it. It's well, Lulu's kind of in thought about.
Well, if it's protecting those souls, what happens if it gets removed?
Well, I don't really think it's. I think it's more like they're drawn to it rather than it's protecting them.
But then again, maybe that's not a bad thing. Because if they are like innocent souls that were,
it's a little bit more like they were some of the paladins that died before she fell, and it's more like they can't move on because they're connected to it.
so,
But it's I'm not sure if it's. I think it's more like their ghost, and that's not always the same thing as a soul. It's kind of weird like that.
yeah, ghost can be just a leftover remnant and an impression. A soul actually being trapped, a soul actually being there would be a lot more issues.
So
I admit I'm curious.
Well, if it were actual souls of paladins, Imagine what would happen if the protection of the tier suddenly fell. In order to get there, in order to even get within the barrier of the tier, you're going to have to deal with all of the demons and devils that are waiting outside of the barrier for it to fall. That way they can get at those paladins.
There ain't. We avoid it. I mean, occasionally, it's really funny to throw someone into it, but we don't bother touching it because we can't touch it. And that's Corvus speaking. Although those ghosts crying is just funny to watch. They're like, oh, boo hoo hoo. She fell from
Corvus.
grace.
Corvus,
Yeah.
shut up.
See, if I try to help you next time you go into the river.
Corvus.
I didn't go in the damn river.
Corvus. It's a little bit uncouth. It would be like me laughing over the fact that you got killed here.
We do that. All the time.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
there's
to
this
me-
one chain devil. He kind of got like gouged in the head, and now he cares about things. They make him burn the chicken trees.
Corvus.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that. It would be more like somebody just completely destroyed you here.
Well, then
I would feel quite sad because you actually mean something to me.
Okay, and
Moving on.
Yeah.
I scanned the horizon for a takeable war machine.
okay, take a look around.
My foot.
Yeah, let's check the weather. But
There's weather
no,
in hell.
yeah, there was acid rain earlier.
Oh, great.
But you don't see anything. But there is a fog cloud rolling in from the river Styx.
What do I see?
You see the fog cloud
Fog?
to one side.
Fog cloud from the river Styx. That seems like a terrible thing to go into.
Yeah, no, we're not even heading towards that.
Yeah, it's not great. Okay, so you see. Let's see what it is you see.
Do you see what I see?
Let's see. You see a patch of weird-looking trees, and you think you might see some war machines, but they're a little ways out. You'd have to, you're gonna need to do some work to catch up to them. Oh, and there
Michael,
goes
Trevor.
and the flying fortress again.
Why does she just always fly around in that?
Yeah,
Well, if it's
it's
something.
She tends to take it to places to fight, and then she gets out and she fights things. But she's pretty well protected in there.
Because it's a flying fortress.
And if it's a
Exactly.
constantly moving flying fortress, it's more difficult for things to get to.
All right. Shall we go see what type of war machines those are, and then try to pick off two of the weaker ones and grab the?
Oh, why not? What could go wrong?
Get us all killed again?
The fact that you have to put again on there.
Okay, make a dexterity check. I don't think you have a proficiency in vehicles, so we'll just make it a check. Okay. If you want to add some more demon ichor to, get yourself a boost going, you can do that. It doesn't make you quiet, but in fact, these things aren't exactly quiet anyway.
I'll do that with a little bit of the ichor, but I'm going to save some just in case we need it.
Okay.
In case we gotta cheese it.
All right.
Yes, in case we gotta cheese it or other things.
Okay, so you're headed towards them, and as you're getting closer, you realize, Hey, this is part of the real Jim Dark Magic's caravan. Granted, you are at like the end of it. So,
That might make Maggie happy. She really hate this guy. I don't know who the fuck it is. Do I?
I'll take a history check.
Can I make one as
I didn't
well?
pay attention in history class.
Everyone who wants to make a history check.
I did not pay attention in
Nope.
history class.
Michael, you know him because one, he is one of the founding members of Acquisitions Incorporated, which means that he's technically one of your bosses. Frick knows all about that, but you both also recognize that yes, he is a famous stage magician. People come from miles around to see. He's famous for letting out doves. He just conjures doves, and people love it.
Is he in Avernus?
That's actually what nobody seems to understand. Is what he's doing. There.
Let's go check this out.
You want to get ahead and get in line for the show, more or less?
Why?
I just want to see if we can actually ask him why he's here.
Okay. I'll say if you guys want to, you can kind of go around and get to the front where you're able to ask for admission, basically.
We're agreed we're not going to rob our boss, right?
Oh, he's our boss. We're not going to rob him, but why the hell is he here?
Okay. So you're able to
Start Discord. It's being really laggy.
So you're able to to get up there, and the whole chain kind of comes to a stop, and you do see that there's a few different devils that are in with his group, and they'll say, yes, go right up on there. You can sit in the front row if you want. Plenty of seats available. And
What's
basically, the big float is a stage, and yes, there are rows of seats. You can have a seat if you want.
Michael's trying to see what the cost is because this is just nothing is.
Nobody's asking you for any coin.
What's the cost?
The real Jim Dark Magic just likes to have a captive audience, so he lets people come in and see the show. It's his thing. He likes to perform for people.
Okay. Michael will tentatively walk through and get a seat up at the front.
Okay. You do say that there's there apparently is a tabaxi somewhere in the sparse crowd, but you're able to go and you're able to get a seat, and there's somebody walking around apparently selling concessions. Get your pop something, get your warm drink, get your cold drink. Show starts in 10 minutes. Does anybody want something?
Nope.
Okay.
It's gonna taste like crap. We're in hell.
Yeah, I know. I was going to see if you remembered that. And sure enough, there's pretty soon there's fireworks galore, and you hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and then take them apart and put them back together repeatedly in a quick motion for the one," and we stress this, the only, the real Jim Dark Magic. And if you don't already know what he looks like, please, find, just do a quick search, pull up a picture, because I don't have it on me. As you see the real Jim Dark Magic, who's coming out on stage, and he's, even though there's like 7 of you in the crowd, he's acting like this is a huge audience. Thank you so much for being here. And he flings out his arms dramatically, and skeleton doves take off almost out of nowhere. And he will proceed to put on a show. It's going to include things much worse than skeleton doves. And just to give you some idea, not all of them are skeletons, but that doesn't mean they have skin. Yeah, he's going through and like obviously being around magic a bit. You guys notice some of this is just like different illusion magic, but it's really well done. It's done with a lot of style and grace. And then there's some sleight of hand. And he says, "Thank you everyone for coming out tonight. Next show is in 30 minutes. I'll see you then." And that's when you realize you can't stand. You are stuck in the seats. You're the captive audience.
Oh, great.
And the
Sorry, my computer shut down. I'll be back.
okay. The Tabaxi kind of wearily looks at you. "Why did you come in then? Didn't you know? You can never leave. I've been here for 7 weeks. The show never changes."
Have you tried heckling him?
And just this look of stark fear comes over her face. "Don't ever do that. You become part of the show if you do that."
But you're no longer captive audience.
And she kind of points behind you, and there's pieces of someone. I can't really say that you can get an expression from them because the head isn't in one piece. But you do see an eye blinking at you. It's like a quarter of the head, and the eye is blinking at you.
Blink once for yes and twice for no.
What's the question? The mouth in front of you asks that. And that
Is
means
this
just a mouth.
better? Is this better than how it was before?
At least people didn't step on me. Oh, and the horrible, horrible pain. Did you think that being cut into pieces, and then you hear this back, "It was really well done though." Like, "Oh yeah, I never even saw the knife. I was just suddenly in pieces. But I felt it. I still feel it. I just got tired of screaming." Oh no, he's coming back for the encore. And sure enough, here comes Jim out there again. Thank you. We're such a great audience. I want to come out, do a few more tricks, maybe a little bit of a Q&A. How's everyone doing tonight? Today? Time is meaningless here. Who cares?
Well, one, how can we no longer be a captive audience and be able to leave without being part of the show? 2, why are you here?
I'm glad you asked that. Well, the first part, well, why would you want to leave? I mean, it's me.
Oh.
I am the real Jim Dark Magic.
Jim, boss, we kind of need to do stuff. I mean, you're
Yeah.
lovely and all, but
Are you
You know,
with Omen Drawn's group?
well, we're
You're with
the new-
Acquisitions Inc., aren't you?
yeah.
And the his face just kind of goes still as his eyes narrow at you. Oh, I'm so glad that you decided to drop by.
Oh, great.
I
Why do
was
take
looking
that?
for a volunteer for my next illusion.
Boss, you still not answered my question, please. I will do whatever you ask if you just answer my 2 questions.
Well, to answer your second question first, see, a while back, Omen made a clone of me, and then for reasons I still haven't fully had explained to me, he left me here to rot, while the clone gets to keep living my life. To answer your second question, you don't get the lead because you're Omen's lackeys.
But I don't get to leave. But everybody else does.
Oh
Okay.
no, they don't get to leave either. They
What's
can't.
there?
They can't pay their exit admission.
Dude, I literally asked what the admission was. And I was told there was nothing. That you just like having a captive audience.
Yeah, a captive audience.
Ha ha, very punny.
But you asked. You didn't ask what it costs to leave.
What does
So
it
what
cost
does it
to
cost
leave?
to leave?
A soul coin.
Huh.
And Frick, I thought you might remember this. Thank you for not giving away the. Unless, of course, you want to try and force the issue.
That's a little bit underhanded.
Welcome to Avernus.
You wouldn't happen to have a fiddle of gold, would you?
Actually, I do. He goes over to a chest and he hefts it out. Had it made special.
Michael looks it over.
Guess he was way behind and he's willing to make a deal.
Damn it!
Take a plot point for that one. Just because you beat him to it. Now, who wants to be my assistant for the next show?
I'll do it.
Oh God.
And he puts the
red
fiddle away,
sequins
and
bunny suit.
he starts. He takes out a very sharp-looking sword. Good. You know the trick where they put you in the box and then they stab the box?
Oh yeah, I've had that one done several times. It doesn't work.
Oh, well, you haven't had it done with the real Jim Dark Magic.
Well, if the clone has the same powers as you, then
The clone is far inferior to me in every way. That's why I don't understand why Omen kept it around. Because clearly I am the original and I am the better one. I am the real, and he's pointing up to the sign behind him, the real Jim Dark Magic.
all right. So come up with a new trick besides the box.
Oh, you haven't seen the way I do it.
I've got a guy right behind me who's in pieces, in pain. I think what you do is you just, pretty much cut them up while they're still standing there without anybody really being able to see the movements. And then, they just kind of explode into 1,000 different segments. But do you put them back together?
His eyes are kind of narrowing at you as he's fingering the sword. Nobody likes to have the illusion ruined for them.
Yeah.
It ruins the magic of the performance.
But you're not supposed to leave the evidence behind.
I think it's time for us to make some initiative rolls. Oh, I also need a roll for the dude. Oh, he didn't do too bad. Okay, let me see what his initiative is right quick. Oh, yeah, not good. Okay. It is Frick's turn first, followed by Michael, Trevor, the real Jim Dark Magic, and then the dude. And we'll say that if Mooncolor is going to get involved, it will happen on Michael's turn. And the audience is particularly worried. Frick, what do you want to do?
So as Frick is able to move at this
Yeah,
point?
for you find that now that you're no longer really considered to be part of the audience, you can move.
Well, he would.
Eh.
His target would be the clone gym. So exactly, is it just like a small stage that he can easily get to, or is it just
Yeah,
like...
we're gonna do this theater of the mind. So yeah, you're able to get to him. He's maybe 20 feet away from you, actually.
Okay.
We'll say that 10 of it is difficult terrain, just because you need to go around or over the steps. So
Yeah, or around people.
yeah. Well, the few people there aren't really too much of an
Oh,
obstacle.
they're just like along the sides.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you just kind of have to like take a few steps out and get into the alley, the owl, or you can jump over the seats.
All right, he'll be jumping over those seats.
Okay.
So when he gets the clone gym, he'll start up with just an uppercut.
Okay, roll it. And nope, that is not hit. Comes close, but he just barely lifts his chin and dodges it.
All right, second attack, left hook.
Okay, that time you do hit him.
Come on, big damage, big damage.
Okay. All right. Is that all of your turn?
I'll cash in a key point for Fury of Blows.
Okay. Yeah, that hit.
So that's right knee.
Right. Okay.
And we're going with... Then we'll go for a left sweep leg,
Okay.
which does not make contact.
All right. Yeah, that one missed.
All right, and that's everything.
Okay, Michael, your turn.
Michael casts Psybite.
Okay. Is that an attack or do I need to make a defense?
You need to make a Wisdom DC 17 roll.
Okay. And he gets to add a good bit to that. Yes, he does make it. Just barely, but he makes it.
Alright, I use as my bonus action Bardic Inspiration, give it to Trevor.
Okay. Trevor, it is now your turn.
I am going to get up next to Frick,
Okay.
and I am going to cast Heroism on Frick,
Okay.
and that's my turn.
Okay. We are going to say that Mooncolor and Lulu are both going to join in on this because they really don't seem to like him. And let me pull up their stats. So, okay.
Spellcasting ability modifier. That's my charisma modifier.
Yes, it is. And let's see. That's going to be one hit, and no, that one will miss. So,
Okay, I gotta turn my camera off. It's slowing my computer way the
Okay.
fuck down.
all right. So, Mooncolor slams his hooves down onto Jim, the real Jim Dark Magic. And where's Holly Fun? All right, there it is. Let me see what Lulu does. Right quick. Come on. Pull this up real quick. You guys actually probably need the help. That's why I'm doing this. Oh yeah. Let's see. Her she'll need to use her trumpet of blasting, and that means that he needs to make a Constitution save. Oh, and he failed that badly. So Lulu flies up there, lets loose with her sparkling trumpet attack. And
I love Lulu.
yeah, so the sparkles come out and hit him really badly for radiant damage. That's okay, and that means it's now his turn. And after all that, you can see that the facade of a human face is starting to crack away as he says, "No one likes hecklers in their crowd." And he is going to start off. Let's make it a physical attack on. Okay, yeah, this is definitely going to hit Frick. You're going to take.
It's on Frick.
Yes, he's attacking Frick.
I would like to use Sentinel. When you're done doing that, sorry.
Okay. So first, Frick, you take 10 points of cold damage, and you
Okay.
need to make a Constitution save.
Come on, buddy.
You
13.
are paralyzed for 1 minute. You can try this again at the end of your turn. And oh, now it's the dude's turn. It was like, yeah, this isn't good. Kind of wish I didn't have to go and use all my spells earlier. He is going to cast Sacred Flame. I just want to make sure at this level. Okay, yeah, it does quite a bit of damage at this level. So for him, that's a attack. Pretty sure that's almost definitely going to hit for him. Because oh no, it's a deck save. Just let me double check. I've got too many things. No, he did not make that save, so he's going to take 3d8. Let me find some d8s. This is why I hesitated to bring in an NPC for so long, but with so many people missing. Okay, that's close enough. All right, so he lets loose with Sacred Fire. That could have been better, but it could have been worse. And that means it's Frick's turn again, who needs to... Oh, wait, you got to make an attack, didn't you?
I think the 15 missed.
Yes, it did. But you do have an inspiration you can throw onto it.
What's your inspiration? A D6?
D10.
Oh. 19?
I think that'll hit, but I'm going to double check. Yep, that hits.
Oh, okay. So 16, and I didn't say that I lit up the sword.
No,
so
you didn't.
I'll do it next time.
Okay. Frick, you can try to make your save again for being paralyzed.
Come on, my
That was a
Wookiee in the
Constitution.
D&D world. Dang it.
No, you are still frozen in your fighting stance. Michael, it is your turn.
But I'm very brave while I'm.
You look, like you're not even scared of him. You just can't move.
I'm the bravest statue that ever.
Yes, exactly.
Michael is going to go Eldritch Blast. No, he's not. He's going to jump up on stage while readying his shield and rapier and attack the guy.
Okay. You're able to get up there to him. 23 does hit.
Does 17 hit?
Yes, it does. So you do a grand total of 20 damage.
And I cast Bardic Inspiration once again
Okay.
to Trevor.
All right. And with that, he is going to, the real Gem Dark Magic is going to use one of his legendary actions to reach out and touch Michael. And that means that it needs to be with his... What was your AC?
21.
Okay. No, he just barely touches you. You need to make... let's see. You're going to take 10 points of cold damage and make a Constitution save. You are now frozen. And Trevor, it is your turn.
So, just a quick question.
Mhm.
With Sentinel, it's saying when a creature makes an attack, it doesn't have to be a weapon attack, right?
No.
No?
We're gonna
Okay, I didn't think
say
so.
we're gonna say, like, as long as you're there, it's any attack.
Okay. I am going to take 2 swings.
Okay.
Bonus action to light up my thing.
Okay. That hit, and that missed.
Ooh.
And I get to draw from.
I haven't rolled a 1 on an attack in a while.
Okay. Make a
17 plus 7.
make a
24.
contested Dex or Strength save with the target.
Oh, I would love to do a strength save, thank you.
Okay. Do a Strength save.
Yee.
All right. Let me see what his strength is. He does not take your weapon away from you.
No touching. Ow.
And how much damage did you do with?
17, 24? Is that right?
Okay. Yeah, he's really unhappy now because now that more of that mask is breaking away, you see he is not alive.
Ew.
He is very much an undead creature, and now Mooncolor.
So does that mean the radiant damage is doing more to him?
It didn't say anything about doing extra damage to him, but it's probably
okay.
it's probably revealing what he is even quicker. And Mooncolor got a natural 20 with his attack. Let me
Yeah.
quadruple the damage.
Good
Oh God!
Holy shit.
I mean, this
How are you gonna go and go?
this was only the horn attack, so 8 times 4.
But still.
That's 24. Oh God!
Is
Mooncolor
actually
slams his horn through the undead chest. You see a shriveled heart stuck to it when he removes it, as the lich starts to crumble with trying to scream out obscenities that don't come out as the throat is falling apart. And you hear the people who are still in one physical piece and not being held alive through horrible magic cheer as they run. And the devils are like, that was unexpected. As the lich, real Jim Dark magic, crumbles before you.
Except we didn't destroy his phylactery, so he's gonna be back and hunting us down. We'll just add him to the list.
But for now, the devils who were working for him, they're not attacking. They're just kind of shrugging and like grabbing their possessions. Like apparently their contract didn't extend until his destruction, past his destruction, and they're just packing up and leaving.
I just look at Mooncolor.
Who is shaking off the crumpled heart as it too turns into ash. That was satisfying.
If Michael's able to talk, he just pretty much goes, "We need to find its power base and destroy it." And
I will let you two who are paralyzed make another save, Constitution save each.
I thought lay on hands removed paralyzed, but it doesn't, so you guys are on your own.
I'm going to double check that save for. Okay, you're both going to be saved for the full minute, paralyzed for the full minute. So, and Jesse, I'm giving you a extra plot point because you did hold it for as long as possible. Michael, you are free to walk around, but your two friends are stuck for about a minute. You're pretty sure it'll wear off soon.
Well, you're still imbued with bravery, Frick.
And this is why next time I'm not holding back. You guys did kind of rip him apart, but he left a few scratches. Trevor, what do you want to do while you wait for your friends?
I guess I'll look around.
Okay. I guess a perception check.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you...
Can I take my time and use the natural 20?
Sure. So you have to wipe out some of the dust from your eyes. It stung pretty bad, but you quickly start going through the chest of props that he had, and you realize that the sword was it is a +1 sword, but it's really only enchanted to glow. Uh, he was just looking.
Wait, hold on. What now?
You're going through his chest of props.
Okay.
He has a +1 sword that glows.
Okay.
That's it. That there was in fact a golden fiddle.
Okay.
And I will say we're gonna say that's worth 500 gold coins. And
I feel like it's cursed, but okay.
yeah, you don't really have any way you can judge its value. But and then there's just a few other magician props, like a rusty saw. It turns out it's just a rusty saw. You're starting to think that maybe most of his illusions were just horrible tortures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great to know.
But
Is there just a random dove that pops out out of nowhere? Because that would be
no, that one you can't quite figure out. I mean, you can do an
Just a
investigation.
bird flies out. Holy shit!
I mean, if you want to try to figure out how he did it, I'll take an intelligence check. But you don't see any undead birds.
That is asking a lot of Trevor.
Yeah,
Magic.
That no.
it was magic.
That's
And
all you need to
because you
know.
get you get quite a bit of time while those two are frozen, you do find a stash of 10 soul coins.
Ooh.
But again, I will tell you
Yes.
that being a good person, you do feel the weight of carrying so many tormented souls with you.
I can only carry 3 technically, right? Because my
You would be
Constitution
risking
modifier-
exhaustion if you tried to carry them with you all the time.
Oh, okay.
But
Can we put them in a bag, or is it just in
I'm
general?
gonna
like,
say
you have it
that-
on your person.
I'm going to say if it's on your person, you can either let Corvus carry them, or you can just place them in your war machine and hope someone doesn't steal them. But I'm going to say even being in your bag of holding, it's still going to count because this isn't a physical weight. This is a spiritual weight,
Right.
and you would be risking potential exhaustion after a full day of that.
Well, I mean, we can use 6 of those 10 and pay Mad Maggie.
Yes.
Unless you did actually want to continue going for the war machines.
Well,
'Cause
you
that still
don't
leaves us
see
with-
the devils aren't. I mean, they're kept a couple of the war machines, but let's see how many they leave behind. They actually leave 2 of the smaller ones behind.
And it's like a legit war machine?
It's the smallest of the war machines. It's like a basically it's a motorcycle armored up.
Huh.
I mean,
She didn't say a specific one. She
no,
just said
she
war
did
machine,
not.
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And of course, then there's the ones. There's the big one that was carrying the float, behind, the stage around. They didn't bother to
Did
keep
they-
that one.
oh, they didn't?
No, they basically the ones who couldn't fly. There was a couple who had wings. The rest of them just kind of piled into a couple of the war machines and took off, and then they left what they couldn't keep behind.
So if we bring her the big one, wait, is it even possible to bring her the big one?
Yeah, you can drive it.
Well, I mean, we could all take one and go back. Except we wouldn't have ours.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you only need one person to drive each one. So there's just enough of you to take them. If you count the
Sure,
dude.
we have dude. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he didn't get to do very much in this fight. But like I said, he probably won't be your biggest asset. He's there, and he's a forge cleric, so be sure to how you can take advantage of that. But yes, there's just enough of you. You can take these back. You can take the whole stage back to her, or you can leave that behind because you get the feeling it's going to slow you down.
I'll wait till they aren't frozen anymore.
Yeah, and after about
for that.
50 seconds, they both come to. Well, they can move again.
Is he dead? Dead?
Well,
He's a lich.
he turned to
I
ash
think.
and crumbled
Wait.
away.
Wait, do we know he's a lich? I shouldn't say that.
He was an
I've been
undead
around Simpkins
spellcaster.
enough. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was
And,
around Simpkins enough so I could guess, right?
Yeah, I'll make an investigation check.
Oh god. +1, guys. Oh, okay, it's not bad.
From what you understand, there's a strong chance he might have been a lich, but
Okay.
again, a zombie who can cast magic could just be a magical zombie.
Oh, okay.
I would say that you're thinking with the amount of power he seemed to be throwing around, those paralyzing touches, he's probably a lich.
Oh, okay. I'll pass this on to them when they wake up.
Is there a way to kill him? Kill him then?
Sure, I know how you kill a lich.
With that roll, you understand that his soul is bound to a phylactery.
Okay. I will explain this.
So how do we find his phylactery?
Oh. I'm not exactly a lich hunter. My experience with liches barely goes outside the sewers of Wildem, okay?
Well, yeah, we've seen a good one. This guy's obviously evil.
And yeah, we're in hell. Everything is evil. Well, almost. Not everything.
I actually point to the unicorn and the glowing elephant at that point when you say that.
Mooncolor says, we're not actually here by our own volition, though. Lude's like, I am. Okay, she is here of her own volition, but that is for a purpose. I was abducted to be bait in a giant zapper.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, you were.
We are the outliners of the population of hell.
You're the what is it? The exceptions that prove the rule.
I don't understand that phrase.
What? One's a kidnapped victim and the other one's trying to help her friend.
But the rule of the majority of things in Avernus being evil is true. And Corvus is like, yeah, they're right. Most of us are evil.
Thank you.
So
I found a cool sword. Any of you want to just... Oh, here, Michael. I give him the golden fiddle. It's probably cursed.
Makes sense. Given all the luck that I've had. Michael tries to play it.
Make a performance at disadvantage. Even though this thing wasn't designed to actually be used in any kind of musical manner, and in fact it's so heavy that you can't even hold it properly, you're able to find a way to make interesting sounds with it. It's coming out something closer to the Blue Man Group than traditional music. But you have found a way to turn this unwieldy 100-pound item into something that can actually be used to make music.
Well, worst come to worst, you can hit somebody over the head with it.
I think that would damage the fiddle more. Gold's pretty soft. Yeah, it's heavy, but it's soft.
Well, depending who you hit on the head with. Frick, you probably would just break the thing in half. That's a compliment.
Oh, thank you.
The dude is going to speak up. It's like, yeah, I mean, if you were to bend it, it would kind of ruin the artistic value. But I mean, just like if you were to melt it down, it'd probably be about 500 gold coins. And it doesn't matter if you bend it, if you're going to go melt it down and reshape it.
There you go, Michael. We got you a new weapon.
Although that's going to be just a terrible, terrible weapon. I mean,
Michael
he can barely hold it to play it.
Michael just hands it over to the dude.
Oh. And then he will try to play it.
Oh God!
Please be a nat 20.
Please be a natural one.
No, it was a 3, not counting whatever his charisma is, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't have performance. No, he doesn't. It would have been a 4. It is. It's like. It's not music.
It's cats gargling razor blades.
No, it's not that good. But
Okay,
he
okay,
is a
okay.
bigger creature, so he can hold it more accurately. But he doesn't know how to play, so it's like. But he plays it with passion, but no skill
That's
at
all that
all.
matters. That's all that matters. He tried his best.
And that's what Lulu tells him. That was really energetic. Like most of my art is, with a hammer. Like my armor, which is battle worn because he's had it for a while.
Well, if art is supposed to be anything that's done that makes you feel something, this has definitely made me feel something. I don't know what it is, but it's something.
So you're going to take these things back to Mad Maggie?
Yeah.
Okay. So there was 10 coins, and that means there's only 4 left.
So there's 4 left.
But she asked you for if you're going to take the war machines, then you have 10 coins.
Yeah,
Right,
let's take the war machines.
No,
Okay.
I was just trying to split it up between us all so we can,
Yeah.
so not
So-
one person has them all.
Okay. So, and remember, the dude is entitled to his share of the loot. So when you split up that violin, just let me know how much is mine, so I can, or his, so I can keep track for him. But anyway, he's like, no on the coins, but the gold, yeah, let me know what my share is. Or keep it for the party fund. He doesn't care, but he does not want the coins. He's like, that's not right. Whatever it is about those, I don't know what it is, but it is because it it's there, but it shouldn't be there. So
I agree,
No
but
thanks.
one person carrying all of these gets very exhausting.
well, we could just let them go.
Let's see which ones are good first.
Do you want to ask them if they're good?
Michael will ask them if they are good.
Okay.
Hey,
Let me,
get out of there.
just to be sure, are you going to ask each individual coin if it's a good person?
Can't they lie, though?
They shouldn't
Wait.
technically be able. It uses
Interesting
one
question, Andy. For Vindication, the glowy thingy.
Yeah.
Um,
It gives a disadvantage to a lie.
yeah, so I don't know if a coin can lie or if it'll work, but it's still lit up, and I can just relight it after a minute. Right?
Yeah.
So we have that.
I'm going to say that particular ability, the 1 minute thing, that's going to be on a recharge. So after a long rest, it comes back. We never needed it, so I never thought to clarify that. But let's say if you want to ask every single coin in your possession if it is a good person, you can do that within a minute. But it's going to take 1 charge off of every coin. They have a total of 3. You can ask them a question.
Full charge does it for 3 days, right? To charge a machine?
Yes. You can also use it to gain temporary hit points, or free the soul, or ask it a question. But 3 charges, and asking, are you a good person, or are you a good soul, is going to count as 1 question.
So how many coins do we have altogether with the 10? Because I don't remember if I had any or not. I don't think I did. I don't have it on
you
my
spent
sheet.
them all, and you guys just didn't want to spend frick. So, let's say a grand total of 15.
Yeah,
Okay.
this Frick is currently at 4 soul coins.
Okay, 14. So
And
again,
then Janja didn't have any, right?
who?
Janja?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
So if you use them, they will only have 2 coins, and you will risk running out of fuel. It'll last another 2.5 days right now.
It's up to you guys.
See, if they're good, we can release them, and that's a good act.
Mm.
Freeing the coin
That's something
will let the soul go
yeah.
wherever it was intended to go.
Yeah. So, yeah, if we find the ones that are good and we release them, that's saving them from torment. But
Mhm.
bad ones, they're kind of screwed because they're here anyway.
So Corvus's opinion of that's a waste of perfectly good charges on soul coin, because you're going to be left with a coin that only has 2 charges left. He can understand draining it for his life force, because you might need that in a fight one day. But what does a human know that I don't know?
If it's a good person.
Empathy, compassion, morality.
Weakness.
Well, I wouldn't say that a human. I wouldn't say that he doesn't know morality. I mean, in order for him to be in the position that he's at, he has to know that.
This statement stands, Michael.
It's just that his morality is bent and twisted.
Okay, so the dude's opinion is he just doesn't want the coins in his possession. Whatever you guys do with them, he's not worried about that part of the loot. He just, he's only got the gear that he's got, and if he's going to be hanging around you guys, he'll want to upgrade, and he'll need money for that.
Let's think about it as we go back to Maggie.
Okay.
Up here.
So you roll up with one very large war machine, and you bring in a scavenger and a couple of the what's the smaller one called? The Devil's Ride. So she's like, "Oh, you outdone yourself a little bit more than I was expecting. I kind of thought you all might wind up coming back with fewer people, but no, you came back in style."
I'll have Mooncolor stay on our war machine,
Okay.
so she doesn't get any ideas.
And she will hand Michael 3 enchanted flasks filled with water.
As well, to note, while they may not be Ragadragas, they are the real Jim Dark Magics.
And she's like, "Oh, so you decided to go and see his show after all?"
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I admit I'm a bit curious as to how you managed to get out of his show.
Stabbed him in the heart.
Yeah, that'll do it. I mean,
Just so it's known, I don't say who. I just said stabbed.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, you done made yourselves a powerful enemy, but I'm pretty happy with you. I mean, you're all going to die horribly in the long run, but I got some new rides out of this, so." Well, you enjoy that water. Don't drink it all at once.
Or at all.
Yeah, that would be my... But hey, from what I understand, you seem to really enjoy being in the water.
Who told you that?
You see the crows on her shoulders kind of bobbing as they're appearing to chuckle. And she just kind of tilts her head at one of them. "Imps are terrible gossips, boy."
Yeah, they are. They don't ever shut up either, do they?
No, they don't. But they sometimes bring me some fun stories, so I gotta say, I kind of like these two.
All right. You take care, Mad Maggie.
I'd say you to do the same, but I'm pretty sure you won't.
Nah.
Probably a
I mean,
good
what would-
prediction.
I mean, would it be any interesting if I was playing it safe at any time?
Oh, you're gonna die horribly. I mean, that's just a given. But it'll
Yes,
be
yes,
fun
I
to watch
am.
from a distance.
Well, if they start selling tickets, I'll try to get you a reserved one for the front row.
I just
My-
point at the Ravens. I'm sure she has one.
Well, gotta admit, I always like to be there to see the light go out when someone dies, and so I'll see what I can do to be there to witness your agony firsthand.
Yeah, might even let you go away with a couple of souvenirs.
Oh, I'll probably try to grab a few hairs from your head, and I'll make a clone of you and turn it loose. In fact, if you want to give me a couple of your hairs right now, I can go ahead and get started on that.
Oh my God, Michael looks to Trevor.
I don't think the world is ready for two Michaels, and this plane are not.
Well, which one would be the real one then?
Well,
take
that's
it.
kind of all up to you.
I just like grab him at the back of his shirt. Point made.
Okay.
Well, y'all come back anytime now, especially if you want to bring me more toys.
We'll make sure that the biggest and shiniest ones get reserved for you as first port of.
Well, I don't think anybody else is really going to deal with you, so I am kind of your only source. But hey, if you want to take me up on that cloning offer, it never hurts to have a spare body in the wings, especially around here.
I don't know. Out of character, I want to just because I might actually burn through this one so fast. Okay. All right. Now let's just get going. You take care, Maggie.
If I could
I'll
scruff
contemplate
Michael like
for
a
it.
puppy, I would. Frick might be able to, but I can't.
You're pretty strong. You might be able to pick him up and carry him. But
I almost
okay,
want to at this point, but
you guys finally drag him away. We've only got a little bit longer, so is there something you guys want to do with the next 30 minutes, or we can call it a night?
So, so do we need that water for the tree? So do we need to go for back, or is this water used for something else?
Is Michael made a deal with somebody, so he can explain it if he wants to.
Yeah. The actions that I've done and the items that I've collected were all for getting well the ones specifically that had to be done in threes were for a can't remember exactly what the heck it was.
His
Ugoloth,
name
was
is
he?
Rule of Three,
Yeah, for a
and
rule of three.
he lives in Sigil.
Yes, for a rule of three and sigil. Those were for getting information on Vincent, and then I've
Victor.
got some other stuff that needs to be done to make a sword that can kill a.
And I think that with that, you have the last of the items you require for Rule of Three. You have Celestial Blood, even though you went evil instead of what he probably assumed was good, but he didn't specify, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
don't we have the blood of a Titan too, or something
That
like
was
that,
the
or whatever?
Celestial. He was that Titan was an angel of an evil god.
Aldrich. Aldrich's grave. That's where we got it from because
Yep.
we resurrect.
I forget which god it was. I can look it up, but yeah, he's still technically an angel. He's a celestial, and
Well, I
you
know.
you
Oh,
needed his
sorry.
blood for something else, and so Michael just siphoned a little off for himself.
I know there was 2 places that Trevor wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go to the crypt, and now I want to investigate this angel tier thing.
Yeah, if you want to pick one, we got just enough time for you to at least see what it's about.
But I know we also have plans to go find Belle too.
And you can do some other things before you talk to him, or you can go talk to him right now. I'll let us kind of fast track the, some of the travel, because I mean I could keep you going through random battles, but I prefer to do it when you have more of the group, and also we're not running low on time.
Let's go over to Bell's Forge. Or well, which one was the next part up in the sword? Because if we get the sword before going over to Bell, if we have the sword, it might make Bell more convinced in
If you want to
not.
find the Sword of Zariel, you can either go to Bel, or you can follow another path. Like, talking to Bel was going to be your next clue to finding the Sword of Zariel. If you want to get the God Eater sword, you're still collecting parts for it. So, I wouldn't really worry too much about that one just yet.
I was thinking more about Zariel's sword.
Yeah.
If there was
Okay, then you can go talk to Bell, or you can go and check in on the Crypt of the Hell Riders. Like I said, your introduction of Bell was sort of the next step in the path you had chosen, but I'm not going to stop you from looking into alternate routes.
Shall we go check out the crypt before? Danny.
Because you kind of know Jesse's
Fix my
opinion
things-
is,
the things you
neutral.
fixed it though.
Hmm?
What?
I didn't hear you say anything.
Okay, so I was trying to fix my thing. I think I fixed it. So what was Michael's question? Kyle's question, whatever.
My question was, do we go towards the crypt or do we go see the tier? Because I'd be better focused for us to see Bell once we actually do have the sword, because then that gives us evidence to prove to him that we can get him out of the contract that he's currently in.
I don't know. I guess the tier.
The tier has nothing to do with the Sword of Zariel, but again, you're just pick a direction, guys.
Let's go to Bell.
Okay.
Okay.
So you decide you want to go to Bell's Forge. And I'm pulling that up.
Unless Lulu and like while we're traveling there, I'll sit with Lulu and like figure out more of her memories, because I know she was still sorting through them.
And that'll come up when the module gives me more to work with. So you're heading to Bell's Forge. The map will say an oust archduke sulking in a volcano, eager to reclaim his stolen throne. A gargantuan volcano dominates the horizon. Clouds of fire and ash spew from its cauldron. I don't know that word very well. Caldera. And the air trembles with its angry grumblings. A vast multi-layered fortress has been hewn within the volcano's rocky slopes. So, as you pull up, there are a few devils that are there, but you're able to show them the tablet that you were given from the Earth, the Dia, the Earth Genie, and they will allow you to go on in, but they are sort of following after you. And so you walk in, and it is sweltering hot in here. There's uh, quite literally rivers of lava that they are using to forge weapons. A wrought iron spiral staircase descends into a cavernous forge. Channels of bubbling lava wind throughout the complex, casting fiery light over huge anvils. Chained giants with coal black skin and fiery orange hair hammer out weapons under the malignant gaze of a pit fiend seated on a flying throne. Throughout the forge, sparks fall like rain. Bell sits before you, hovering there, glaring at you. And just what do you ants have with me?
Huh. I didn't realize that I had a nephew.
Michael,
Sorry, I had to.
shut up.
The fire giants that are chained are just still working away. But it's loud, it's hot. You probably don't want to be here much longer than you need to.
I'll look at Belle. You look like somebody who prefers people who get straight to the point.
Which
We're
you're not
here
doing.
We're here for Zariel. And rumor has it, you two don't quite get along.
This next part you hear telepathically, and as he says, your next words will determine your fate. Choose them with great care.
God. Can I tell where that came from?
You know it came from Bill.
Oh, great. Was it just me?
Yeah.
Shit. Danny's not good at this.
Well, apparently neither is Michael.
What?
Just tell him why you're here to see him.
Oh, we were wondering if you could help our friend here, pointing towards the elephant, remember some things.
More specifically, the location of Zariel's sword.
He just keeps his eyes on you, Trevor.
Great.
As he says, I need to make sure that you are not working through the angel. I had something of mine stolen by, some of her spies recently. If you retrieve the 9 animatine rods, I will tell you as much as I am able to tell you. And he's telling you this, Trevor, telepathically. And it's almost like it's whispered telepathically. Like, he doesn't even want to say the words out loud. He's a little paranoid.
I'll nod.
And he says that you can speak with a Sybarex that was recently captured by some of my men. They like to collect forbidden lore, and this one should be a good source of information, and might even have some idea of where Zariel's spies took the rods.
Sounds good.
Okay. Michael just looks at Trevor. What's going on?
I'll tell you outside. I'll give a hesitant bow and then leave.
Michael follows quickly after.
Okay.
Because in all reality, this dude's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's
And
why
once we're-
Michael.
What?
It's why Michael only made the one pun.
That's
As
why.
soon as that fell flat, he was just like, "Oh fuck."
As soon as we're out of there and like in a place of relative safety, as much can be.
Actually, he
will.
he will actually teleport you outside of his forge.
Oh, okay. Holy shit, it
And
was hot in there.
there is an imp that is waiting for you.
Oh, great enough.
Hello, my name is Balakros. I am to assist you in finding the Sybarex.
Ah. Now that we're out, I will quietly explain to Michael and Frick. And dude.
And Corvus?
I figured Corvus was there.
Yeah, Corvus is everywhere.
Unless you're just
Hello.
trying to avoid him.
Michael doesn't actively try to avoid him. At all.
You're just on this mission to make him a better person.
Yes, I am. As annoying, and do it in the most annoying way possible as well. I'm
So
like,
yeah.
Michael is like the living inverse of a Hallmark film. He'll still teach you the good lesson, but God, you will hate him for it.
Oh god.
You know, just Andy's perspective, you haven't taught anybody a good lesson. You are an example to be learned from, not a person to be taught by.
That's how he teaches. He cannot.
You're
teach
that
you.
warning sign that says, do not lick the lightning rod.
Michael is the reason why there's warnings on plastic bags.
Exactly.
I was thinking about the FBI warning you see before movies.
Yeah. No, he's the one that says, do not place toaster into bath.
Or the stupid little sign on the doors of Walmart. Check the back seat for your kids.
Yeah.
No. He's the reason why there is an entire little tag on your mattress that says "Do not smoke."
Okay, so before we spend the next 10 minutes on this, I will say that if you accept this new imp's assistance, he will guide you to where he believes Sybarex to be. And since I'm not hearing anything, I assume you take his help.
Yes.
Accept his help. So as you're coming up, you see it's being held by a couple of chain devils and Arcanolith. And whoever's holding the map will hear, a breeder of horrors and a hoarder of secrets. A Sybarex is said to be as old as the abyss. I'm going to attempt to send you a picture of what a Sybarex sometimes looks like. I say sometimes because it's a demon, and demons are less standard, but this one's ugly even by their standards.
Ew.
A spiky chain lashes a 15-foot diameter floating blob of quivering flesh to a 20-foot tall wrought iron scaffold. Two fiends wrapped in chains stand atop the scaffold, torturing the bloated creature's flesh by tightening the chains. Demon ichor oozes from its wounds, forming shallow pools around the scaffolding. A third jackal-headed fiend uses a bronze horn to yell loudly at the bloated prisoner in multiple languages. It sits with its legs crossed halfway up the scaffolding.
Can Michael dip his sword tip in the ichor?
Sure, make a. Let's call it just a I'll let you do sleight of hand for that.
You know, a Cibrix could benefit from some moisturizer.
It's already pretty moist.
I think more than moisturizer.
Sybarix looks like he could benefit from a steroid cream and some time in a freaking
Oatmeal
sunbed.
bath, maybe? I don't know about
Yeah.
a sunbed. That might just ew. Oh,
Well, sunbeds have a tendency of drying out the skin, but before we go further on that, this is just going to
Yeah.
make me sick. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. So you do have it coated. I'm gonna say that coating will last for about the next minute. Much like applying poison to a sword, it's not going to stay for long, but you've got it in case you need it within the next minute or so.
Cool.
So, Andy,
Yes.
a Ciberix supposedly has some information on where the rods are, or where the spies took the rods.
Yes.
Did I understand that correctly? Okay.
That's what Bell implied.
Okay.
So,
The jackal-headed one is still yelling at it in different languages. When it kind of rotates around to the ones you understand, tell me everything you know. And then the long pause waits for an answer. But the Cyberx is just enduring everything.
Michael goes all the way up the ladder on the scaffold.
And when you get halfway, you meet up with the Arcanolith, who's kind of giving you a look.
I have some questions for it.
As do I.
Actually says that. Oh. May I have a turn at asking?
Yes, and but we get to be there when you talk to it.
Okay.
I'm assuming these guys work for Bell, right, Andy?
That's what you were told, yes.
Yeah, okay, so I mean, can't exactly tell them no, so.
So, Michael stands on the scaffold and sort of stands there staring at the giant creature.
Don't you have detect thoughts?
Yes,
the
yes, I do.
creature will actually speak to you before you can speak to it telepathically. Says, if you can release me, I will provide you with knowledge beyond mortal kin.
That sounds like a...
Ooh, can detect thoughts can detect thoughts work on this guy? Kind of.
You can attempt it, sure.
All right.
So you can read surface thoughts, which is that it doesn't want to be tortured. It's grown very tired of this particular experience. You would have to attempt to. It gets a save if you want to push any further.
I'm not going to push any further. What I'm going to do is I'm going to question it around. I'm going to question around it to see if I can get the rods to come up as a surface thought.
Okay, so how are you going about that?
It's just random fire questions that come back to the rods every so often, so that it has
again,
to
if you could give
start...
me just a few. So you're just going to ask it point blank, where are the rods?
Yeah, because that if it has to lie, it has to first think about a lie, and then I'm going to switch to a different question to get it start thinking. Then I'm going to keep drawing it back to the rods. That way, it starts coming further and further to the surface of its mind.
And it just kind of gives you just hear it thinking. I know what you're trying to do. Release me, and I will tell you what you want to know. But if you keep bothering me, I will burn out that pathetic hunk of meat in your head.
Oh God, out of character. Michael actually has no cares left about himself actually dying. Is a thing because he's had it happen so many times. Um, because of that, he's tempted to do the deep dive. He's gonna look to Trevor real fast and give a shrug.
All I'm saying is that, try having a conversation with it before you just start screaming at it and multiple questions, trying to pull up
Yeah.
one little piece of information. Because we don't have a whole lot of time left, as Jesse's got another game to run.
Yeah.
So
Michael looks to Trevor and then tilts his head over towards the thing, and then just kind of stands back for a moment, just still concentrating on the spell.
I'm not good at these things. That's Danny, not Trevor. I don't know. How did Bell's people catch you?
I don't see how that is relevant. Release me, and I will happily talk with you. Leave me with them, and I have
Unfortunately, I
nothing to
can't.
say.
In all fairness, I'm more interested by Bell. And I don't really want to piss him off, so. Tell you what, I can maybe make a deal with you. If you could help us find some rods, maybe we can help work out your freedom. Or get you your freedom, actually.
Make the appropriate check. Deception if you don't plan to help, persuasion if you do.
See,
Michael
I'm better
thinks-
at deception, but I'm not trying to be deceptive.
Okay, then persuasion.
Yeah. I have 10 plot points. I'm going to use them to make that a 26.
I'll be nice and I'll tell you you only need one.
Oh, okay.
Because it will tell you, I saw Zariel's henchmen, hench devils, place them in the wrecked fortress. Let me go and I will show you where that is.
Okay. I look at Michael. What do we know about a wrecked fortress?
When he was talking about it, did the actual wrecked fortress itself come up as a surface thought?
Yeah, you're pretty sure he's being honest about it, but he doesn't say where it is. But you hear Balrog saying, "Oh, I know that. Leave him here. We can go find it."
That's our imp friend, right?
Yeah, the new one.
Okay. I'll look to the jackal devil thing.
It's an Arcana loss.
What are you... Oh, okay. What are you trying to get out of this guy?
Everything that we can. Bell wants the rods back, but these things know a great deal. We'll take everything it knows.
Maybe loosen up on the chains just a tad.
Maybe you should take what you've been given and go. I have a job to do.
Fair point.
And Lulu is also telling you telepathically, "Hey, I think I remember the wrecked fortress. That seems important. We should go check that out."
Let's go check that out.
Let's get.
I will try to tell the thing. I will do my utmost to make sure I keep up my end of that bargain.
If you let me go, I can help you now.
Can't do that.
And you don't understand the language, but you know when you are being cursed. And when you're being cursed in Abyssal, it really means something. But you don't really seem to be too awfully worried about that, as you're apparently going to leave it behind with the devils and the Arcanoloth.
In all reality, there's literally nothing I can fucking do. So
You just beat a lich. Don't stand there and tell me you can't do something.
I am not gonna kill Bell's people when we're trying to be buddy with the guy.
Okay, so you made a promise and you're not going to keep it.
I said I would.
Technically, she is.
And with that,
I can quite easily talk to Belle about it.
we'll
I'm
let
not sure it would
Trevor
work.
stew in this, obvious, not quite deception, but broken promise. As we're gonna end
I didn't
things
break
here.
anything. I didn't
I'm-
say right
I'm turning
now.
off your microphone because we need to wrap this up. And Danny is going to yell at me for a few minutes for doing this. So we'll see you next time over here as the group heads for the flying wrecked fortress. See you later.